Soul of the Vanguard, a Mass Effect Saga audiobook version created 2024. Welcome, fellow listener. You have chosen to embark on a journey through time and space to witness the dawn of a legend, the legend of Jane Shepard. This project is created by a fan with no financial motivation and on a zero budget. It is intended for a limited audience of fellow fans interested in exploring a fan's interpretation of a prequel for Jane Shepard. All rights to the Mass Effect universe, including but not limited to characters, names, and stories, are the exclusive property of BioWare and EA. The use of these elements in this audiobook is solely for fan-related purposes, and no copyright infringement is intended. Set against a backdrop of cosmic discovery and conflict, this prequel enriches the Mass Effect story, guiding listeners through military reports, logs, and personal accounts that shape Shepard's early life. With respect and a hope to spark intrigue, I will lead this exploration, featuring characters both new and beloved by the fan base. This narrative, constructed with fastidious attention to detail, reflects a deep reverence for the world BioWare created, enriching the experience for fans who have cherished the game for over a decade. As an unofficial homage, it ventures into uncharted territories of the Mass Effect universe, aiming to add depth without altering its foundational truths. This work is a non-commercial tribute. We simply invite you to rediscover the magic of Mass Effect through our stories. May we venture far, but never lose sight of the stars that guided us here. Seated in the quiet confines of an interplanetary combatives academy briefing room, Special Agent Jonathan Briggs appears as a bastion of collected resolve. He is the embodiment of composed readiness, his posture relaxed yet replete with an unspoken authority. Awaiting the cue to begin his recording for Admiral Hackett, there's a contemplative tilt to his head, suggesting a mind that is as strategic as it is thoughtful. Briggs's eyes, a deep and perceptive hue, hold a vigilance softened by the wisdom of experience. They reflect a sense of purpose and an acute awareness of the gravity of his upcoming transmission. The lighting of the room casts a gentle sheen on his well-defined features, accentuating a jawline set with quiet fortitude. His uniform, the mark of his commitment, drapes over his broad shoulders with an exacting fit, each crease and fold a testament to the meticulous standards he upholds. The subtle gleam of his name tag, Jonathan Briggs, is more than a designation. It's a representation of his dedication to the service and the principles he stands for. As he sits, fingers interlaced, there's an air of anticipation about him, a readiness to engage with a candor that is both earnest and insightful. Around him, the muted hum of the headquarters whispers of the ever-turning wheels of duty and destiny, framing this moment of calm before he lends his voice to the narrative of Jane Shepard's valorous candidacy. Briggs, a sentinel of strength and sagacity, is not just preparing to record a message. He's ready to capture the essence of Shepard's journey with the gravitas it rightly deserves. Chapter 1. The camera activates, revealing Special Agent Jonathan Briggs positioned against the panoramic view of Rio de Janeiro at dusk. The sprawling cityscape behind him pulses with life, the fading sunlight casting a golden hue over the headquarters of the Interplanetary Combatives Academy. Briggs offers a congenial smile, ready to bridge the vast interstellar distances with his message.
Admiral Hackett, hello from Rio. We're down here on Earth, a bit of a ways from the front lines, but the heart of the Systems Alliance beats strong in this city. With the QEC temporarily out, we're bridging the gap the old way. It's a bit nostalgic, isn't it?
He shifts, the city's vibrant energy serving as a stark contrast to the solemnity of his task.
Today, I'm presenting a candidate who embodies the spirit of perseverance and unity that this city represents. Jane Shepard. Her application to the ICA is not just a formality. It's a narrative of exceptional valor and resilience.
Briggs' tone is earnest, his respect for Shepard evident in his demeanor.
Shepard's record is nothing short of extraordinary. From her unmatched biotic abilities to her exemplary service record, including her decisive actions on Elysium and her unwavering leadership through the darkest times. It's her character, though, that truly sets her apart. The kind of steadfast determination and empathy she's shown is exactly what the galaxy needs. Admiral, as dusk falls over Rio, it's clear that Shepard, much like this city, thrives on diversity, resilience, and unity. Her leadership doesn't just command respect, it inspires loyalty and courage, the kind that forges heroes in the crucible of adversity.
With a thoughtful pause, Briggs looks out over the city, then back to the camera.
Sir, in the coming days, you'll receive additional reports, some from myself, detailing further aspects of Shepard's application and our investigation into her background. Others will come from agents under my command, experts in their respective fields, offering detailed insights into Shepard's tactical acumen, biotic proficiency, and psychological resilience.
His gaze is direct, underscored by a hint of anticipation for the future.
This series of reports will not only highlight Shepard's qualifications, but also paint a comprehensive picture of a leader poised to shape the future of the galaxy. From the vibrant heart of Rio, we see a reflection of what we aspire to be: diverse, resilient, united. Shepard embodies these qualities and more.
Briggs stands, the backdrop of Rio de Janeiro at night framing him as he concludes.
Admiral, I look forward to your thoughts on Shepard's candidacy. Until our next communication, take care. Briggs out.
The camera slowly fades to black, leaving the image of Briggs, a lone figure against the backdrop of a city that, like Shepard, stands resilient and vibrant against the challenges it faces. Chapter 2. 2 days have passed since Special Agent Jonathan Briggs last reported in the traditional manner, a method some might call outdated, yet it carries a certain charm, a reminder of simpler times. The quantum entanglement communicator, after a brief hiatus, hums back to life, its advanced technology ready to bridge thoughts across the stars instantaneously once again. Yet, here on this terrace, Briggs opts for the camera's unblinking eye, choosing the retrograde path of recordings over the immediacy of the QEC. The decision to stick with this method was met with an unexpected yet amiable concurrence from Admiral Hackett himself. Perhaps it's the nostalgia, the tug of yesteryear's simplicity that sways them both. The camera, therefore, remains front and center, a conduit for a story that unfolds across the cosmos, yet is captured one frame at a time. Briggs's silhouette is defined against the backdrop of Rio's dusky skyline, his military attire merging with the dusk. Beside him, on a rustic table, rests a glass filled with the golden nectar of Thessia, the non-alcoholic Asari honey mead, its contents catching the last rays of daylight. A drink renowned for its exquisite taste, cherished across the galaxy, symbolic of the richness of interstellar cultures. In a brief respite from the regimented cadence of training new recruits, Special Agent Jonathan Briggs has carved out a pocket of tranquility on this overlook above Rio. The day's rigorous drills and the relentless energy of the academy fade into a murmur behind him, giving way to the reflective solitude of this recording session. Here, the world feels suspended between the bustle of the city below and the quiet order of the stars above. Briggs, usually at the center of the Academy's fervent activity, has stepped aside from the role of instructor to assume that of chronicler, if only for the duration of this message. His presence is a beacon of dedication, a solitary figure embodying the balance between the steadfast discipline of the soldier and the thoughtfulness of the storyteller. Special Agent Jonathan Briggs momentarily steps away from the disciplined echoes of the training ground, finding solace in the task before him. His demeanor, often stern in the face of duty, is softened by a gentle undercurrent of humor, a trait reminiscent of the legendary Admiral John Grissom, whose name resonates with respect across the galaxy. Settling into the briefing, Briggs' voice cuts through the dimming light, a clear and steadfast sound amidst the encroaching shadows of evening. With the Interplanetary Combatives Academy as his backdrop, Briggs's military attire seems more pronounced in this moment of pause. The pattern of his camouflage uniform, a visual reminder of the dual nature of his current mission, to educate and to evaluate. As night claims its dominion over the city, the camera flickers to life, its green light steady. As he turns to the camera, there's a brief acknowledgement of the contrast in his day, the transition from mentorship to reflection, from the concrete to the conceptual. And then he begins, the camera capturing not just the agent, but the essence of his dedication to duty and the profound task at hand. Despite the QEC's silent watch, Briggs's choice is clear, lending a sense of gravity to his task that only the personal touch of a recorded message can convey. The ambient sounds of recruits training in the distance, their muffled drills and commands create a rhythmic backdrop. A slight smirk in his voice, hinting at the juxtaposition of his task against the raw energy of training exercises.
Admiral Hackett, Special Agent Jonathan Briggs. No doors to speak of here. Just the open skies of Rio and the relentless spirit of the Academy's recruits, which serve as a rather spirited soundtrack to this transmission.
His tone shifts, slightly more serious, but still with a glint of wry humor.
Now, on to the task at hand. What I'm about to present is a distilled account, a summary, if you will, of one Jane Shepard's origins. You'll find the minutiae and extended narratives in the detailed reports to follow. But for the sake of your time and mine between drills, let's cut to the chase.
There's a brief pause, as if Briggs is considering his words carefully. He takes a slight glance at his cold Asari honey mead, but then thinks better of it and gets his attention back to the task.
The birthplace controversy. It seems our candidate might have more in common with a celestial body, questionably charted and somewhat enigmatic. The records, or lack thereof, suggest Jane could have first seen the light of day, not on the colony of Mindoir, but possibly on good old terra firma, specifically Gilman Hot Springs. Yes, the same spot some questionable organizations called headquarters.
He chuckles softly, the irony not lost on him.
But officially, she's a child of the stars, born on Mindoir, amidst the Attican Traverse. Of course, this is where things get interesting, or concerning, depending on your love for interstellar soap operas, sir.
Briggs continues, earnestness woven through his words.
The narrative thickens with cults, clandestine dealings, and the kind of intergalactic intrigue that would make even the shadow brokers sit up and pay attention. Jane's parents, leading figures of the divine Vanguards, seemingly dedicated to churning out human biotic warriors via exposure to good old Ezo. Noble, perhaps? Risky? Definitely.
A brief pause allows the sound of a distant vehicle to filter through.
Apologies for the brief distraction, Admiral. It seems an armored personnel carrier wandered off its intended path. Now, where were we?
Seizing a brief interlude, Briggs allows himself the simple pleasure of the moment. He lifts the glass with a measured grace, pausing to appreciate the golden liquid's aroma before partaking in a thoughtful sip. The Asari honey mead, renowned for its smooth finish, seems to briefly transport him, offering a fleeting respite as he savors the drink's rich complexities.
And then there's the anonymous investor, the pivotal character in our tale, whose involvement turned the tide, leading to quite a dramatic fall from grace. The destruction of both the cult and Mindoir might well read as a cautionary tale of ambition and its downfalls.
Briggs' voice softens, a touch more reflective.
Admiral, the subsequent chapters of this saga, which my team and I will lay out in the fullness of time, promise to shed light on Shepard's multifaceted past. It's a tale interwoven with shades of heroism, controversy, and the undying question of what truly shapes the mettle of an individual.
The earnestness in his voice hardens, reflecting his professional dedication.
Further scrutiny, I assure you, will be as thorough as our Academy's training regimen. Painstaking and, I hope, illuminating.
As the evening air begins to settle around him, Briggs concludes,
Until we transmit the detailed briefs, Admiral, consider this a primer, an appetizer before the feast of data that's to come. Briggs out.
The click of the camera shutting off is crisp in the quiet that follows. Briggs, with a knowing look and a slight shake of his head, mutters to himself.
All that racket from the APC. If I didn't know any better, I'd say Vasquez had a hand in timing that little distraction. Well played, Vasquez. Well played.
The hint of a smirk crosses his face as he contemplates his next move, the wheels already turning for a bit of friendly retribution. Chapter 3. 10 days have elapsed since Special Agent Jonathan Briggs's last dispatch, and now he finds himself some 384,400 kilometers from where that message was sent, on the barren yet beguiling terrain of Luna. His assignment here is no accident. It is Briggs, with his unique combination of tactical expertise and technical acumen, whom the Alliance has entrusted with this critical task, a task demanding the precision and calm only he can offer. Tasked with troubleshooting and implementing sophisticated code into the lunar base's server banks and programming the drones that will serve as both adversaries and allies in the cadets' simulations, Briggs was the natural choice. Perched on Luna's desolate plains, Special Agent Jonathan Briggs is ensconced within the burgeoning skeleton of the training facility, its unfinished corridors and rooms sprawling out like a labyrinth under construction. Fluorescent lights flicker and sputter sporadically, casting long, dancing shadows across the raw concrete floors, a visual echo of the base's incomplete symphony. From his vantage point, Briggs can survey the vast open chamber where the walls still bear the clean, sharp smell of fresh alloy. Here and there, the surfaces are marred by the stigmata of gunfire, burn marks and dents that map out the misfires of a still-learning virtual intelligence program. It's in the silent communion with this nascent intelligence, what will be known as the Enhanced Defense Intelligence, aka EDI, that Briggs unwittingly sows the seeds of a partnership that will one day become legendary. His presence here is the confluence of necessity and destiny, a quiet testament to the trust placed in him by the Alliance and to the solitary burdens of those who operate in the background, the unsung architects of the future. Briggs halts his work, his hands stilling above the keyboard. The thrum of the lunar base's heartbeat fades as he turns to a task of equal gravity, the unraveling of Jane Shepard's lineage. This isn't merely a break in his routine. It's a deliberate interlude, chosen with the utmost intention. There is a profound resonance in documenting Shepard's past here on Luna, humanity's first foothold in the stars, a place where every pioneer's journey begins. For Briggs, this moment represents a nexus point. It's a reflection of the greater journey, mirroring Shepard's own potential trajectory from Earth to the stars. The unformed corridors and halls around him, marked by the trials of development, are not unlike the formative experiences of Shepard's ancestors. Each scar of gunfire, a testament to growth and learning, parallels the trials Shepard's lineage endured and overcame. And so Briggs chooses now, amid the vast silence of Luna, to record his report. In this act, he acknowledges the significance of Shepard's forebearers, their ambitions, their courage, and their mysteries. It is in the stillness of the lunar base, a monument to human expansion and ambition, where he finds the clarity to articulate the past's influence on the beacon of humanity's future, Jane Shepard. Here, suspended between the quiet of the moon and the distant bustle of Earth, Briggs records his message to Admiral Hackett. It's a message that carries more than facts and observations. It's imbued with the gravity of their setting, on the cusp of human endeavor and the unknown, much like Shepard herself.
Date, 12/5/2177. Admiral Hackett, greeting from Luna Base. This recording will delve straight into Jane Shepard's lineage. We're looking at a rich history here that's as diverse as it is influential. Jane was born to Ezekiel Isaac Shepard, and Neris Elijah Manswell, establishing a lineage linked to two distinct family histories that possess intriguing influences. Both her parents, leaders of the Divine Vanguard's cult, bring a depth to Jane's background that's worth noting.
Briggs, with a slight adjustment to his position in front of the laptop, begins detailing the familial connections. The soft hum of lunar base systems underscores his focused recounting.
Sir, starting with the Manswell side, we have Victor Manswell, Shepard's great-grandfather, a figure whose ambition outpaced even his considerable wealth. Attempting to leapfrog humanity's space exploration timeline, he led a private expedition to Alpha Centauri, motivated by beliefs tied to the, let's say, interstellar enlightenment group. His quest, based on seeking out a mythical cosmic leader. This venture, while ending in mystery, exemplifies the courage to explore beyond boundaries, to take risks. It's this spirit, woven into Jane's lineage, that suggests she's more than equipped to navigate the uncertainties of space and command. Guess our current VI quirks are nothing compared to steering 300 followers into the unknown based on cosmic legends.
Briggs pauses the recording for a moment to bring up an archival image, a visual aid that brings his words into stark relief. The picture, frozen in time, showcases the ambitious Manswell launch of 2075. It's an image of hope and daring, the bright flames of the rockets painting a dawn, not just for the day, but perhaps for all humankind.
Admiral, as you can see in this archival image, the Manswell launch was an event that marked a zenith in private space exploration. 3 colossal ships pierced the horizon, ascending on pillars of fire, each carrying a segment of those 300 souls on their journey toward Alpha Centauri.
The screen behind Briggs now mirrors the launch. We see plumes of smoke billowing into an ochre sky as the rockets defy gravity, propelled by the dreams of the celestial congregation and the indomitable will of one Victor Manswell.
This is part of the legacy that Jane Shepard inherits. It's a legacy of visionaries who reached for the stars, quite literally shaping a chapter in our history that would inspire countless others to look upwards with wonder and ambition.
Briggs allows the image to linger on the screen, a silent testament to the Manswell family spirit that may very well course through Jane's veins. With a respectful nod to the pioneers who came before, he resumes his report, tying the bravery and curiosity evident in the launch to the person Jane Shepard has become.
And then there's Alan Bartlett Shepard Jr., a name that resounds with achievement and exploration. His place in history is undisputed, Admiral. As the first American to enter space, his bravery paved the way for all that followed. Later, he would command the Apollo 14 mission, famously golfing on the moon, a testament to human ingenuity and spirit. His contributions to space travel and exploration cannot be overstated.
The archival footage playing behind Briggs shows Shepard in his spacesuit, etching his name among the stars. We witness the precision and care of Apollo 14's mission, Shepard's confident stride on the lunar surface, golf club in hand, a light-hearted moment on a celestial stage that showcased the possibility of life beyond Earth.
It is Shepard's blend of daring and discipline that we hope to see in Academy candidates. His legacy, one of exploration and iconic moments etched in the annals of history, is a beacon for Jane, a legacy marked not by the pursuit of personal glory, but by advancing human knowledge and capability.
With a thoughtful pause, Briggs acknowledges Shepard's true place in history and how it underscores the qualities of those who follow in his footsteps, including Jane, whose potential is as limitless as the cosmos Alan Shepard once traversed.
This is the heritage Jane Shepard inherits, a legacy of heroism and a history of achieving the seemingly impossible. It's a solid foundation for any future leader of the Systems Alliance, one that Jane has the potential to build upon as she writes her own chapter in the story of humanity's journey among the stars. Admiral, We've traversed the vast and varied branches of Jane Shepard's family tree, from the Manswells with their celestial aspirations to the pioneering spirit of the Shepards. Now, it's time to weave these threads together, to see how they converge in the person who could be key to our next chapter in space.
Briggs leans back, the soft blue glow of Luna's Earthrise illuminating his contemplative features. The duality of Jane's lineage, marked by the zeal of one family and the groundbreaking ventures of the other, seems to come together in the quiet of the lunar base.
On one hand, we have the daring of the Manswells, setting off into the unknown, embodying our intrinsic need to seek and question. On the other, we have Alan Shepard, who took humanity's first steps into the broader universe, marking him as a trailblazer. In Jane, these qualities merge, a curiosity to push boundaries paired with a historical foundation in exploration. These two histories combined give us a candidate whose very DNA is interlaced with the essence of discovery and the courage to chase after the unfathomable mysteries of space.
Briggs concludes his recording, his words a testament to the potential shaped by lineage. We must consider how the echoes of the past may resonate in Jane's future decisions, how the courage, the dreams, and even the failings of her ancestors might inform her leadership.
Thank you for your attention, Admiral. This lineage report for Jane Shepard closes here, but the story it begins, her story, is far from over. Until the next chapter, Briggs out.
The camera flicks off, leaving Briggs to his thoughts. The Earthrise, a silent witness to his solitary vigil, serves as a poignant reminder that the journey of discovery is eternal. And as Jane Shepard's lineage illustrates, it is a journey that is as much about understanding where we come from as it is about charting where we will go. Chapter 4. It's been 2 weeks since Agent Briggs's last communication from the lunar base, and now the setting has shifted dramatically to the Citadel archives. There sits Dr. Sarah Jean Hammond, with an air of confidence. Her sharp attire mirrors the crisp efficiency of the Systems Alliance uniform. She has an undeniable spark in her eyes, the kind that speaks of intellect and a readiness to tackle challenges, even those dropped in her lap at the last minute. While the archives hush envelopes the doctor, she bears the weight of this assignment due to circumstances beyond the ordinary chain of command. Agent Briggs, the man normally at the helm of such critical tasks, finds himself indisposed, tangled in a situation with the tactical virtual intelligence based at the Luna training facility, whose issues have escalated to a level demanding the utmost secrecy and an ensemble of experts. It is a scenario intense and precarious enough to draw him away from his usual duties. A sign of future dealings, maybe.
Greetings, Admiral. Dr. Sarah Hammond speaking. I'm stepping in for Agent Briggs, who's currently engaged with our ever-so-cooperative VI on Luna. Classified issues, they say. So, as his trusted partner in life and the field, I've taken the baton to ensure this report doesn't hit any more snags.
Dr. Sarah Jean Hammond recalls the last conversation with Agent Briggs, a moment of urgency underlined by necessity.
Briggs was quite clear.
Sarah recounts, replaying the conversation in her mind as she prepares to record.
With the VI on Luna causing more than a spot of trouble, he had to stay put, buried in classified entanglements that require his expertise.
She reflects on Briggs's tone during the call, calm yet insistent, the sort of focused concern that spoke volumes of the situation's gravity.
He said to me, Sarah, I need you to handle the Mindwar segment and do it old school. No QEC, just a solid, reliable recording. I raised an eyebrow, asked him why the sudden nostalgia.
In her mind's eye, Sarah can see Briggs's expression, that half smile that comes when he's about to dive into something complex.
He told me it wasn't just about sentiment. It's about integrity, about tangible records in an intangible world, he said. This information is foundational, and I need it delivered without the risk of interference, quantum or otherwise.
Hammond understood the subtext. With the VI issues, nothing could be left to chance. The integrity of the report required a method as steadfast as the history it covered.
Besides, Briggs added, with that tone of his, sometimes the old ways resonate more. They remind us of the enduring nature of our work.
There's respect in her eyes, a nod to the notion that some things, like history, like commitment, transcend technology and the pace of modern life.
So here I am, doing it the Briggs way. Because when it comes down to it, the stability of the old ways has a charm that even quantum entanglement can't disrupt.
Satisfied with the solidity of her task, Sarah starts the recording, feeling the weight of responsibility and history come together, as tangible as the device she's speaking into, as real as the stories waiting to be told.
Okay, let's get started. Excuse me, Administrator, would you kindly open file Historia Locorum Mindoir.havf, please? Thank you.
With a deferential nod, the administrator steps forward. Their hands move with practiced ease to a sleek terminal inset within a console that seems more art than appliance. Fingers dance over the holographic interface, a ballet of precise gestures that summon the file from the depths of the Citadel's vast data vaults.
Right away, Dr. Hammond.
The soft cadence of the administrator's voice barely disrupts the archive's tranquility as they engage with the system. A hollow screen springs to life above the console, bathing the area in a soft glow. The file name, Historia Locorum Mindoir.havf, materializes in luminous script against the backdrop of the display, followed by a series of authentication requests that the administrator fulfills with a few more deft touches. With the document open, the hollow screen displays a three-dimensional projection of Mindoir's lush topography, a serene landscape that stands in stark contrast to the clinical environment from which it is viewed. The administrator steps back, hands folded behind their back, their role complete.
Much appreciated, Administrator.
Not at all, Doctor. I will be at the other side of the room should you require any further assistance.
Citadel Archives, Historia Locorum Mindoir, Official Dossier 2160 CE, classified. I guess Briggs has friends in high places to get this level of access. Nice work, Johnny. Introduction. In the expansive tapestry of galactic colonization, the history of Mindoir holds a special place. Known for its serene agrarian society, Mindoir has become synonymous with the delicate balance of peace amid the vast, often tumultuous galactic theater. This document serves as an official account, chronicling the evolution of Mindoir from an unsung hero of agricultural enterprise to a linchpin of humanity's colonizing efforts within the Attican Traverse. Geographical overview. Mindoir is celebrated for its pristine natural beauty, a verdant world where human settlers have turned fertile lands into a breadbasket of abundance. Its sweeping fields and pastoral vistas stand as a pinnacle of human ingenuity, a testament to the tenacity to carve a bastion of serenity from the untamed wilds of space. Geographical overview. Mindoir is celebrated for its pristine natural beauty, a verdant world where human settlers have turned fertile lands into a breadbasket of abundance. Its sweeping fields and pastoral vistas stand as a pinnacle of human ingenuity, a testament to the tenacity to carve a bastion of serenity from the untamed wilds of space. Sociopolitical context. For eons, the whispers of Mindoir's tranquility have contrasted sharply with the discordant tales spun by neighboring nebulae. Amidst the capricious anarchy that characterized the nearby terminus systems, Mindoir shone as a paragon of stability, a sanctuary for those seeking solace from the maelstrom. Initial observations. In its nascent interaction with the Systems Alliance, Mindoir was deemed of modest consequence. The lack of obvious military value, scarce deposits of precious metals, and absence of strategic materials relegated the planet to the periphery of early spacefaring endeavors. Its diminutive stature in the celestial hierarchy was mirrored by a corresponding lack of attention from the greater military establishment. Yet under the stewardship of its dedicated settlers, the planet flourished, an agricultural jewel watched over by the steadfast eyes of its caretakers. Strategic reappraisal. Over time, the narrative of Mindoir's perceived vulnerability amidst the chaotic backdrop of the terminus systems ignited a fervent discourse among the Alliance's high command. This discourse sparked a reassessment of Mindoir's strategic value, leading to a profound shift in the Alliance's engagement with the planet. Metamorphosis and recognition. Circa 2160 CE, Mindoir's role in the galactic landscape was redefined. What was once terra firma, yielding bountiful harvests, became a symbol of humanity's expanding frontier. An official decree recognized Mindoir as an integral member of the Alliance's network of colonies, casting a new light on its role within the galactic community. Governance and legacy. A figure of considerable renown, Governor Jerome Regis rose to prominence during this era of transformation. His name, forever etched in Mindoir's annals, signifies an epoch of unparalleled growth and prosperity. With his guidance, the people of Mindoir experienced a renaissance of culture and productivity. Yet, intertwined with this golden age is a shadow, a calamity that would test the resilience of this utopian world. Conclusion: the archives record that the strides made under Governor Regis's tenure were not without consequence. A cataclysmic event would later threaten to unravel the fabric of Mindoir society, a somber testament to the unpredictability of fate. The repercussions of this event continue to resonate through time, a poignant echo in the annals of history. Observational note from Special Agent. As we archive the story of Mindoir, we unfold a narrative rich in contrast. A planet whose tranquil facade masked a depth of strategic import. It is within this cradle of bucolic calm and sudden violence that Commander Jane Shepard's early life was sculpted. The historical currents that flowed through Mindoir's fields are intrinsic to the fabric of her being, shaping a future leader whose decisions will carry the weight of this legacy.
After the detailed and somber recounting of Mindoir's rich yet tragic history, Dr. Sarah Jean Hammond leans back, her expression a mix of reflection and the ever-present twinkle of humor in her eyes.
Well, Admiral Hackett, I hope you found that as enlightening as I did. Mindoir's story, a tale of such vibrancy and then loss, really puts our daily gripes into perspective, doesn't it? Makes my complaint about the coffee machine being out of order seem a tad trivial, and here I was thinking that was the tragedy of my week. Sir, this concludes our journey through the archives, and what a journey it's been. Diving into Mindoir's past has only deepened my respect for those who come from such resilient stock, Commander Shepard being the prime example. Her application to the ICA isn't just a formality, it's a testament to the strength and character forged on Mindoir, amidst both its idyllic days and its darkest hours.
She pauses, her admiration for Shepard evident in her tone.
I must confess, Admiral, in the course of this assignment, my admiration for Commander Shepard has only grown. To emerge from such tragedy, to strive and to aspire to protect and lead within the Systems Alliance, it's nothing short of inspiring. I hope one day to have the honor of making her acquaintance.
With a respectful nod, as if to the very ideals Shepard represents, she adds her thanks.
Thank you, Admiral Hackett, for entrusting me with this task. I look forward to any future collaborations or historical deep dives you may have in store. Until then.
She turns to the Citadel administrator, offering a grateful smile.
Thank you. You may close the Historia Licorum Mindoir file now.
As the holo file dims and the room returns to its quiet state, Dr. Hammond faces the camera once more.
Admiral, until we speak again, Sarah Hammond out.
Dr. Hammond, your dedication to detailing Mindoir's story has been exemplary. If all our visitors brought such reverence to their research, the archives would be an even richer place. Now, if you've concluded your work here, might I suggest you check in with the front desk before you depart? Safiria, our Asari colleague at reception, can assist with any final administrative needs or questions you might have. She's also quite knowledgeable about the Citadel, should you wish for any recommendations during your stay.
The administrator offers a respectful nod, indicating the direction towards the exit with a subtle gesture, ensuring Dr. Hammond feels guided but not rushed.
Should you require further assistance or wish to explore more of our archives in the future, do not hesitate to ask. It's been a pleasure having you with us today, Dr. Hammond.
Chapter 5. 3 days have passed since Dr. Sarah Hammond's transmission from the Citadel archives, and the narrative baton has been passed to Stephen Hanley Abrams, or simply Hanley to their close friends. Hanley sits in the heart of the Interplanetary Combatives Academy Program's Research Center. It's a room replete with history and the echoes of 1,000 military victories and losses. Hanley's posture straight yet relaxed, a clear sign of someone accustomed to bearing great responsibility. Stephen Hanley Abrams, who now steps forward into a new chapter of personal truth, as Ms. Hanley Abrams, carries with her not only the weight of historical revelations, but also the silent strength of personal transformation. The transition, undertaken with the same deliberate care that she applies to her research, is a journey marked by introspection and resilience, much like the pioneering spirit of the Andromeda Initiative she admires. Her connections to the initiative are more than academic curiosity. They are interwoven with the narrative of her own life, a symphony of change and discovery. As a trusted friend and confidant, Jen Garson herself has offered quiet support, seeing in Hanley a kindred spirit whose vision for humanity's future is matched by the courage to redefine her own identity. In the reflective surface of her desk, amidst the glint of metals and the soft glow of holographic displays, Hanley sees not just the historian and strategist, but also the woman she has always known herself to be. It is a private victory that resonates with the promise of Andromeda, a new beginning for all who have the valor to embark on the journey. As she adjusts the collar of her uniform, a subtle shift in her bearing reveals the confidence of her new identity. The transition, though fraught with the challenges of altering one's life amidst the rigid structures of military life, has been met with an outpouring of support from unexpected quarters, including her steadfast ally, Briggs. Their friendship, rooted in mutual respect and years of collaboration, remains unshaken, a testament to the enduring bonds that outlast the shifts of personal evolution. The room around Hanley breathes the essence of military precision and intellectual rigor, bathed in a golden glow that reflects off polished wood and the glass panes of bookcases filled with texts and memorabilia. The walls are a testament to the Alliance's storied past, with photographs and medals of honor proudly displayed. Holographic screens hover above the surface of a sleek desk, their soft light illuminating the myriad of data and strategic diagrams that float in the semi-darkness. A steaming cup of coffee sits close by, the gentle wisps of steam curling upwards, caught in the stray beams of light that filter through the blinds. The room is silent, save for the gentle hum of advanced computers and the distant muffled sounds of the academy at work. Particles of dust are visible in the air, swirling around in the streams of light, lending an almost tranquil quality to the scene. Suddenly, the quiet is broken by the chime of a not all unexpected incoming call, a sound that causes Hanley to stiffen slightly, the anticipation of the task at hand clear in her movements. Hanley accepts the call with a swift motion, and Special Agent Jonathan Briggs's voice fills the space.
Hanley, it's Briggs. Listen, I need you to take point on the Mindwar briefing for Hackett. There's something we've stumbled upon here on Luna, something big, and potentially volatile if the Council catches wind of it without the proper context.
Hanley's brow furrows, sensing the gravity in Briggs's voice. The mention of the Citadel Council adds a layer of urgency to the request.
Understood, Briggs. But why me? This seems like something you'd handle personally.
I would if I could, Hanley, but this discovery, let's just say, it demands my immediate attention and a delicate touch. The base will be my home for the foreseeable future. I've briefed you on the essentials for the Mindwar segment, and I trust you to convey the depth and the sensitivity it requires. You have a way with words that this situation needs.
There's a moment of silence as Hanley processes Briggs's words, the weight of the task settling on her shoulders.
Sure, Briggs, the briefing will be thorough and precise. You can count on me. You know that.
I know I can. That's why I called you. Keep it factual, but don't shy away from the hard truths. The Admiral needs to see the full picture, the nuances of what happened on Mindwar, and the implications it carries. And Hanley, be careful. We're navigating through a minefield of political sensitivities here. Okay, Briggs out.
Hanley takes a deep breath, steadied by Briggs's confidence in her. She begins to unravel the complex tapestry of Mindwar's tragedy, fortified by the trust placed in her to navigate the intricate details and political nuances of the story. The recording light blinks to life.
Admiral Hackett, this is Hanley Abrams, Senior Research Fellow in Military Sciences, reporting on behalf of Special Agent J. Briggs. Today, I have been entrusted with the task of bringing to light the events surrounding Mindwar's fall, a narrative steeped in tragedy, resilience, and the shadows of political intrigue.
As the dim light of the research center casts long shadows across the room, Hanley Abrams delves into the narrative with a voice that carries both the weight of revelation and the burden of truth. Through each word, Hanley navigates the labyrinth of Mindoir's past with the precision of a scholar and the empathy of one deeply attuned to the human cost inscribed within these events.
In the shadow of Mindoir's devastation, the Alliance search and rescue team stepped through the silence that hung heavy in the year 2170 CE. The Batarian raiders had fled, leaving behind a puzzle wrapped in the wreckage. There, among the smoldering ruins, a spaceport lay battered and unlisted in any official records, a silent testament to the hidden truths that Mindoir harbored. Close by, the remnants of a maternity ward told a story of violence, its very walls etched with the raw force of biotic energy, the sear of conflict immortalized on titanium. The ruin was complete. The once thriving colony and a clandestine cult sanctuary had been laid to waste, leaving only questions in the dust. The investigators, with a determination as unyielding as the cold stars, sought answers. Why had Mindoir, a bastion of agriculture and peace, drawn the ire of the Batarians, with whom strife was as natural as breathing?
Amid the wreckage of Mindoir, a mystery unfolded under the watchful eyes of the Alliance search and rescue team. It was a discovery that whispered of secrets and hidden agendas, speaking volumes to Hanley Abrams as she relayed the account. The remnants of a covert spaceport and a maternity ward marred by conflict served as silent witnesses to the untold stories of Mindoir. As Hanley speaks of the unregistered spaceport and the damaged maternity ward, there's a palpable tension in her voice, a reflection of the unease that these revelations stir within her. The scars of biotic scorching on the titanium blast door are not just physical marks. They are emblems of the chaos that once consumed the colony.
On the cusp of this revelation, amongst the debris and despair, they unearthed an optical storage device. This OSD cradled the essence of Jane Shepard's lineage, her parents' own words, their manifesto, a document seething with the fervor of their beliefs and the blueprint of their dreams. The revelation of the cult's existence, their grand design, and their unwavering vision all spilled forth from this digital tome. As the OSD spun its tale of the cult known as the Divine Vanguards, it became clear that the seeds of Mindoir's fate were sown long before the Batarians' merciless arrival. In the pages that followed, the manifesto of Jane Shepard's parents bore witness to their vision, a calling to rise beyond the ordinary and forge supersoldiers of biotic might. Veneficus prophets, they called them, champions in a cosmic play of power and prophecy. With each word uncovered from the OSD, the narrative of Mindoir's hidden chapter was rewritten, and with it, the stirring of secrets that the galaxy was not yet ready to know. The manifesto of the Divine Vanguards, it's a document that pulses with an unwavering commitment to something beyond the horizon of our understanding. They envisioned the creation of Veneficus prophets, beings with biotic abilities that could transcend the known limits of power and purpose. At a time when biotic powers were barely understood whispers in the scientific community, this ambition was both audacious and fraught with unknowns.
As Hanley unveils the layers of the manifesto, her voice carries a mixture of reverence and caution. The term Veneficus, she explains, is imbued with the complexities of its Latin origins, signifying something at once magical and potentially perilous.
The text weaves a narrative of ideology, mysticism, and a conviction in the divine. It speaks of a mandate for perfection, an edict from the cosmos itself to elevate humanity to its utmost potential. Jane Shepard's parents saw themselves as heralds of an impending cataclysm, one from which only their Veneficus prophets could save us.
Hanley's explanation paints a vivid picture of a cult driven by a vision so compelling that it bordered on prophecy. Their words, she notes, were designed to awaken a sense of destiny in their followers, urging them towards a future they believed was foreordained.
The pursuit of perfection. This was more than a goal. It was their divine charge. Through the creation of these prophets, they aspired to usher in a new era of enlightenment and order for humanity. And in their design, 3 prophets would embody the avatars of shield, sword, and soul, echoing the Holy Trinity.
With each word, Hanley delves deeper into the manifesto's vision, a blueprint for humanity's salvation, drawn from the annals of time and the depths of faith. The reference to ancient prophecies and the enigmatic text linked to Xenu adds layers of mystery to the cult's convictions, suggesting their belief in a cosmic-scale destiny for humanity.
The manuscript seemed to breathe with life, ascension and transcendence, a promise that beyond the struggle, beyond the pain, lay a future where those who answered the call would rise to realms untold, sculptors of their destiny. This wasn't merely a goal, it was a sacred mission to elevate humanity to its pinnacle, to face the unknown with a legion of the enlightened. As the narrative unfolded from the OSD, it painted a portrait of a group cornered by the looming shadow of an extraterrestrial menace. This wasn't just a fight for supremacy, it was a battle for survival. The divine vanguards didn't see themselves as mere participants in the galaxy's drama, but as its saviors, with Mandoir as their bastion against the darkness. The concept of their beneficous prophets, super soldiers conceived to be the ultimate protectors, was revolutionary. Each was to embody an elemental force, shield, sword, and soul, with soul not just a component, but the essence that bound and directed the power of the others. This trinity wasn't a mere hierarchy, it was a symbiotic unity meant to bring their lofty vision into reality.
Heinlei's exploration into the manifesto reveals a tapestry of desperation and divine conviction. The divine vanguards didn't merely see themselves as defenders. They were architects of a new age, chosen to guide humanity through its darkest hour to a dawn foretold. Their faith in this destiny was unshakable, driving them to pursue a harmony of forces that could stand against the cosmos itself.
Within the heart of their teachings, a mantra emerged, a beacon for those emboldened by biotic potential. Fear not, for we are the chosen. It wasn't just a phrase, it was a declaration of their destined role within the galaxy, a vow that by their hands, the essence of their belief would weave through the fabric of space itself. The conviction behind these words was undeniable, fueling the dreams of those who walked their halls, ready to become the vanguards of a new era. Despite commanding the loyalty of hundreds, Jane Shepard's parents faced the stark reality of their limitations, resources, and expertise that fell short of their celestial ambitions. As the narrative unfolded, I was struck by the sheer breadth of their dream. They didn't just see themselves as participants in history, they were its makers, its shapers, believing their actions would immortalize them, not as mere names, but as pillars of a future they envisioned. The journey toward their envisioned future, it seems, traversed shadowed valleys where ethics blurred into obscurity. The dossiers recovered paint a picture of a community embroiled in a paradox of care and coercion. Pregnant individuals and caregivers, bound by faith or desperation, became participants in experiments that danced on the edge of understanding and fear, where element zero was both a promise and a peril. The heart of the matter lies shrouded in uncertainty. Did they fully comprehend the risks, the potential agony that might follow? The narratives suggest a chilling ease in recruiting these willing yet vulnerable participants, a testament to the persuasive power of those at the helm.
As Heinley delves deeper, the ethos of the divine vanguards unfurls in complexity. Sacrifices made in the name of progress or perhaps desperation raise haunting inquiries into the very soul of the endeavor. The acquisition of individuals, likely ensnared in the shadowy tendrils of the slave market, for the most hazardous of trials, underscores a grim reality.
Amid this disquiet, a stark revelation, the promise of transcendence, of biotic empowerment, became a currency of manipulation. The ledgers of their experiment detail how basic necessities became bargaining chips, a cruel calculus aimed at those wrestling with the most primal of choices, survival.
In Heinley's recounting, the narrative of the divine vanguards weaves through the heights of ambition to the depths of ethical compromise. The path they charted, illuminated by the brilliance of their vision, was also shadowed by choices that will forever mark the legacy of their quest. A legacy of brilliance shadowed by moral quandaries, of a future dreamed at profound costs.
Upon closing the manifesto, the depth of the divine vanguards' conviction is unmistakable. Their creed, captured within these pages, crafts a narrative of urgency, a beacon calling them forward. To them, they were pioneers, not mere zealots, charged with the sacred task of ushering humanity into a new dawn. Yet, beneath this fervent faith, there lurked a willingness to sacrifice anything, or anyone, in pursuit of their celestial aim. The tales of their trials, chilling in their calculation, reveal a stark readiness to face the loss of their own, even the most innocent among them. In the seclusion of Mindoir, away from prying eyes, their sanctuary grew. But this growth was stunted by isolation, by the absence of the technological advancements and ethical oversight that might have steered them away from the brink. Assistance from the Alliance, or any external entity, was deemed too great a risk, potentially laying bare the secrets they clutched close.
As Hanley reflects on the manifesto's closing words, she portrays the duality of the divine vanguards, visionaries driven by a divine quest, yet marred by the extremities of their methods. In their hidden enclave on Mindoir, they walked a tightrope between faith and folly, their existence a testament to the lengths they would go to realize their dream. The reliance on secrecy, the avoidance of the Alliance's gaze, was a dance with shadows, each step taken in the hope of divine deliverance.
Their journey was marked by sacrifice and shadow, a relentless pursuit that yielded more loss than enlightenment. Yet, as their story unfolds, it's clear that their legacy, while tarnished by the means of its pursuit, remains a powerful testament to their unyielding faith. The closing of the manifesto is not just an end, but a reflection on what it means to chase a vision with everything one has, and the price paid by those caught in the wake of such dreams. As the final pages of the manifesto whisper to a close, a shadowy figure emerges from the depths of the narrative, a benefactor shrouded in mystery, stepping forward at a moment teetering on the edge of despair. This anonymous investor, their arrival marked by impeccable timing, offers a beacon of hope to the divine vanguards. Their intervention, while a flicker of light in the darkness, also casts long shadows, adding layers of intrigue and complexity to the saga of Mindoir.
Hanley pauses, letting the significance of this development hang in the air. The entrance of this enigmatic figure at such a critical juncture raises as many questions as it answers. Who are they? What drives their generosity? And perhaps most critically, what strings are attached to their support? This twist in the tale adds a new dimension to the narrative of the divine vanguards, a reminder that the paths to realization of grand visions are seldom straightforward and often fraught with unforeseen alliances.
This pivotal moment marks not an end, but a crossroads. The cult's relentless drive, fueled by both divine conviction and desperate measures, finds a new variable in the form of this investor. It's a juncture that speaks to the unpredictable nature of fate and the complex web of intentions that drive us all. As I conclude this chapter of their story, it's clear that the legacy of the divine vanguards and the fate of their beneficous prophets remains a tapestry rich with ambition, sacrifice, and now an uncertain promise of salvation.
With those closing words, Hanley Abrams invites listeners to reflect on the intricate dance between faith, ambition, and the ethics of pursuit. The narrative of the divine vanguards serves as a cautionary tale, a mirror reflecting the multifaceted nature of human endeavor, how the quest for enlightenment can sometimes lead us into darkness, and how the arrival of a mysterious benefactor can alter the course of history in ways yet to be understood. The chapter may close, but the story of Mindoir and its architects of destiny continues, its next pages unwritten and awaiting the touch of fate.
Admiral Hackett, this brings us to the end of this particular chapter in the saga of the Divine Vanguards and the tumultuous history of Mindoir. What began as a journey into the heart of a cult's ambition has unfolded into a narrative rich with conviction, controversy, and the unforeseen consequences of chasing a divine dream. The arrival of this anonymous benefactor at a moment of sheer desperation marks a new phase in their story, a twist laden with potential and peril. As we delve into the implications of this development, it's essential to remember that history is a continuum, a sequence of causes and effects where the past shapes the future in ways both visible and obscure. The story of the divine vanguards, their quest for transcendence, and the paths they chose serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities inherent in the pursuit of ideals. In closing, I want to express my gratitude for your attention and trust in navigating these revelations. The road ahead, much like the one behind, is sure to be fraught with challenges and discoveries that will test our understanding of what it means to strive for a future beyond the bounds of current possibility. Until our next communication, I remain, as ever, committed to uncovering the truths that lie just beyond our reach. Hanley Abrams, signing off.
Chapter 6. Deep within the labyrinth of Lunar Training Facility 1, where the ambitions of human intellect collided with the stark austerity of celestial rock, a sense of foreboding permeated the air. Briggs, far from the storied ranks of the N7 but no less skilled, found himself in a dire confrontation not with a foe of flesh and blood, but with an intelligence as cold and unyielding as the vacuum outside. The facility's interior, a testament to human ingenuity, now became a trap. Corridors where metal fused with the ancient bedrock took on a more sinister aspect as emergency lights pulsed blue and amber, painting everything with an alarmist hue. Remnants of the VI's latest misfire. The situation has escalated rapidly. The sterile hum of machinery takes a sinister turn as oxygen levels plummet, replaced by the silent creep of carbon dioxide. The helmet he donned out of habit rather than necessity suddenly becomes his savior, a bubble of life-sustaining air in the suffocating gloom. Briggs's quick reflexes, honed through years of combat and crises, served him well. His hands, clad in the tactile fabric of his suit, fumbled for a moment before securing the helmet in place. A faint hiss, a rush of clean air, and the visor clears, revealing eyes that are determined, focused. He's safe. For now. With the helmet's heads-up display, now his only window to the outside world, Briggs watches as the CO2 levels begin to steady. His negotiation with the VI, a one-sided dialogue filled with commands, overrides, stern warnings, and a few choice words, yields results. Systems begrudgingly respond. The reversal process is slow, begrudging, but the tide of invisible danger starts to recede. While his colleagues, having narrowly evaded the facility's abrupt lockdown, now found relative safety within the robust confines of several M29 Grizzly vehicles dotting the moon's desolate surface, Agent Briggs had chosen to remain behind. His team worked with desperate tenacity to bypass the VI's lethal sanitization protocol, a sequence that may have been triggered inadvertently, or perhaps with a sinister shard of intention. Confident initially in his ability to resolve the crisis, Briggs had stayed, a decision that now cast him into an uncharacteristic pause of forced inactivity amidst an increasingly uncertain fate. Sequestered in the dim, pulsating blue and amber of the emergency-lit corridors, the reality of his situation was inescapable. Isolated, with oxygen supplies dwindling and the station's artificial intellect working against him, he was caught in a perilous limbo between his unwavering duty and the stark prospect of an unforgiving end. Briggs's eyes flicked to the datapad and anchored a purpose in the drifting uncertainty. His demeanor in these moments reveals much about the man behind the badge and helmet. Despite the precarious situation, there's no hint of panic in his actions. Only the calm resolve of an agent who's weathered storms before. It's not resignation, but rather a seasoned acceptance of the unpredictable nature of his work. Even as the potentially lethal levels of CO2 threaten his sanctuary, Briggs sits with a composed posture, an island of tranquility in a sea of mechanical and digital chaos. Yet within his helmet, behind the clear visor and the steady gaze, there's a flicker of something else, a hint of dry amusement at the irony of the situation. He'd often quipped that the only certainties in life were death, taxes, and now VI malfunctions. He muses on the truth of that joke, the ghost of a smirk playing on his lips. In a way, it's almost comical how the most advanced technology in human hands still succumbs to the same unpredictability as anything else made by humankind. This unwelcome interlude does little to fray Briggs's nerves. Instead, it affords him a moment of reflection, a brief pause in the unrelenting pace of his duties. The quiet hum of his life support systems is a familiar comfort, a gentle reminder of the fragility of life, especially in the vast emptiness of space where he spent so much of his career. For Briggs, these moments are a poignant affirmation of his purpose and the preciousness of the mission he serves. He understands the gravity of what the biography of Jane Shepard represents, not just a dossier to be examined, but a narrative thread in the complex tapestry of galactic history. It's a history that's been shaped by the actions and choices of individuals like Shepard, and Briggs feels the weight of responsibility to capture her story accurately and fully. In the stillness, accompanied only by the soft hums and clicks of machinery slowly returning to normal, Briggs takes a quiet pride in his work. For him, it's more than a duty, it's a craft, a necessary contribution to the understanding of the figures who shaped their world. He imagines Shepard herself, perhaps once facing down her own helmeted reflection, steeling herself against the odds. A cue comes to mind for Briggs, Jane being the sole survivor of that mess. Briggs allows himself just a brief moment of camaraderie with the absent Shepard, two soldiers in different arenas, both knowing well the sting of isolation and the weight of survival. Then, it's back to business, back to the voice logs and reports. His is a solitary duty. But in this shared silence with history, Jonathan Briggs finds his resolve. With imminent danger held at bay by a simple visor, Briggs's mind turns to his allies in the sprawling narrative that is the Shepard dossier. In this potential tomb of his own creation, a grateful acknowledgement of their efforts brushes across his thoughts like a soothing balm. First, there is Sarah Hammond, a partner whose brilliance in psychological assessment has proved invaluable. Her sharp wit and sharper insights have more than once steered Briggs back on course when the complexities of his task seem to stretch beyond reach. He reflects on their playful label, partners in crime, a light-hearted term that captures their mutual commitment to revealing the truth. Their partnership, once defined merely by common objectives, now teeters on the brink of deepening, with the potential of them sharing a last name. Very soon, should he survive this inconvenience. And then there's Hanley, whose friendship runs as deep as the core of the planets they've both walked upon. Hanley's steadfast support and diligent scholarship have been a cornerstone upon which Briggs has relied. There's comfort in knowing that behind him stands not only a friend but a kindred spirit, one equally committed to the painstaking search for clarity in the murky waters of history and politics. A subtle warmth flickers through him as he centers these relationships in his thoughts. In a life that demands a constant guard against the chill of the void, these connections are his tethers to humanity. They remind him that even here, ensconced within layers of metal and facing an intelligence devoid of sentience, he is not alone. As Briggs hits the record button and begins his address to Hackett, it's with the unspoken presence of Sarah and Hanley fortifying his resolve. Their unseen support bolsters his voice, lending it an undercurrent of warmth beneath the professional timbre. He starts, not just as an agent recounting facts, but as a man supported by the strength of his bonds, entrusted with a legacy that they all, in their unique capacities, have helped to unravel and understand. In the dim glow of his laptop screen, with the fog of exhaled breath clouding his vision within the helmet, Briggs can't shake the niggling feeling of company. It's irrational, he tells himself. the byproduct of too many hours spent sifting through ghost stories of sentient AIs and tales of digital hauntings in the vast network of the Alliance databases. Yet, as the hum of the machinery melds with the quiet rhythm of his own breath, it almost feels like a silent observer is present, a watchful entity within the web of circuits and code that surrounds him. The notion is unsettling. A seasoned agent like him, given to flights of fancy. Still, he can't deny the almost palpable sense of scrutiny, as if the VI, in its array of errors and complexities, has developed a form of curiosity. A benign ghost in the machine, its presence a stark contrast to the cold, lifeless void just a pane of glass away. He clears his throat, his voice steadying as he starts the recording. There's a part of him that wants to dismiss the feeling, to chide himself for the absurdity. But another part, the part that's seen enough of the universe to know that it's full of wonders and terrors beyond human understanding, allows the notion to linger. It doesn't distract him, but adds a certain gravitas to his task. Briggs acknowledges this digital companion with a mental nod, finding an odd solace in the idea that in this vast, sometimes unfriendly galaxy, connections come in the most unexpected forms, even through a malfunctioning VI that might, just might, be paying more attention than it should. Briggs prepares to relay yet another crucial piece of the unfolding saga. His voice, though slightly distorted through the helmet's mic, carries the gravity of his message clear and precise.
Admiral Hackett, it's Briggs. You'll have to excuse the noise and intermittent alarms. I find myself having some downtime to record this part of the Shepard dossier, but it's kind of forced downtime. I promise I will explain when we meet in person, and the location is secure. You will have to also excuse me wearing my helmet on this one. It's necessary as there is a serious lack of, air. So I've synced my helmet mic to the data pad for clarity. Suffice to say, nothing's ever simple, is it? Following on from the recent disclosures about Mindoir, which Hanley adeptly documented, we must now turn our attention to another twist in this complex tapestry.
Briggs looks around quickly, sure that he heard someone in the room with him. But this should be impossible. It was only him locked in the facility. Everyone else was on the surface. The feeling of being watched raises its head once again. His tone is calm, betraying none of the discomfort his situation might impose, focusing instead on the urgent narrative at hand, a narrative punctuated by the sudden appearance of a vessel, landing at a location not meant to exist, or be known to anyone outside of the separatist cult on Mindoir. For years, the Divine Vanguard's cult had operated in secret, away from the main population of Mindoir, and unnoticed by the governance of Jerome Regis. Although the cult regularly ciphered resources from the main cult, they did so in small batches, not to arouse suspicion. During the early years of the cult, they engaged in horrific experiments on their own members, involving parents in the early stages of pregnancy who actually volunteered for these tests. These experiments resulted in numerous fatalities, affecting both parents and their children, born and unborn, a truly tragic series of events. Jane, however, was never subjected to exposure to Element Zero, not only because it seemed her parents knew the EZO they had was inferior, but the unhygienic implantations and exposure techniques were in their infancy. Her parents preferred to use other members for their experiments until they could determine safe levels and procedures. As the cult began to crumble from within, having failed in their quest to create their prophesied beneficous prophets, a new and mysterious development occurred. Amidst the cult's disintegration, a UT-47 Kodiak drop shuttle suddenly appeared. This vessel, materializing as though from nowhere, descended with eerie precision to coordinates that mysteriously disappeared from any standard galactic map the moment one tried to locate them. This event marked a significant, enigmatic turning point for the Divine Vanguards.
As you can imagine, Admiral, the arrival of this shuttle was no ordinary event. It touched down just a whisper away from the hidden heart of the Divine Vanguard's operations. The precision of its landing, unerringly close to our subjects of interest, raises questions that demand our deepest scrutiny. How did they avoid being detected by the main colony? How did they know the state of the cult and its imminent demise?
But the shuttle's mysterious descent is only the prelude to a more perplexing drama. Moments later, a figure emerges from the shadows. Tall, thin, with the weary eyes of one who knows too much. His appearance is as unremarkable as his burden is extraordinary. He simply went by the name Grayson.
Following the shuttle's arrival, this courier, looking every bit the part of a man burdened by secrets, delivered a package. Wrapped with meticulous care was a device that at the time challenged our understanding of communication across the vast stretches of space. A quantum entanglement communicator, or QEC. At the time this was happening, this device wasn't just advanced and immensely expensive, it redefined advancement in terms of interstellar communication. This technology would have revolutionized their operations, bypassing the need for the relay networks that are the backbone of interstellar messaging. The QEC being completely encrypted communication suggested a motive for the gift, but more immediately it serves as a beacon, drawing us into a web of intrigue spun by those who emerge from the shadows.
The QEC, a marvel of quantum mechanics, capable of instant communication across infinite distances, arrives as both a tool and a token. Its presence among the Divine Vanguards is no accident. It is a calculated insertion, a piece placed on the chessboard with intentions as layered and complex as the nebulae that birth stars. This gift not only ensured the immediacy of contact, but fortifies it against the prying eyes and ears of unintended parties. It created a secure line that, by its very nature, was immune to the common vulnerabilities that plagued other forms of communication.
Moreover, the quantum nature of this communicator ensures that conversations between sender and receiver remain sealed. No spy, no matter how skilled, can intercept these quantum whispers. This level of security and efficiency redefined strategic communications between the cult and whomever was on the other end of the line.
As Briggs ponders these questions, the implications hang in the air, heavy as a star about to go supernova. The gift of such advanced technology is not given lightly, nor without expectation of return. The anonymity and strategic placement of the QEC hint at a deeper game being played, a game whose rules are not yet fully known, and whose players remain hidden from view. The exchange that brought the quantum entanglement communicator into the hands of the Divine Vanguards was no mere financial transaction. It was a deal that brokered power and secrecy, weaving together the fates of unknown players and the cult in a dance of shadows and foresight.
The acquisition of the QEC wasn't just a purchase. It was an exchange that involved influence and knowledge far beyond the normal scope of wealth. This device became more than a tool. It became a symbol of unparalleled technological prowess and strategic advantage. Whoever provided the QEC to the cult held the reins of a vast network of influence, commanding resources and secrets that could alter the course of galactic affairs. The true scope of their ambitions was, and still is, cloaked in secrecy, making them as much a mystery as they are a power.
As the cult assimilated this advanced technology, they became unwitting pawns in a larger scheme orchestrated by figures cloaked in darkness. The communication they now possessed allowed them to reach across the galaxy in an instant, yet it also tied them to a web of manipulation and covert strategy. With every message transmitted through the QEC, the cult stepped deeper into a labyrinth of intrigue. This network, enriched with untraceable supplies and limitless resources, spiraled from the hands of these invisible benefactors. The strategic placement of resources, as revealed by our examination of the OSD, paints a troubling portrait of manipulation that begins almost immediately after the cult's first contact with their new allies.
This orchestrated supply of resources, vast and mysterious, began to shape the cult's operations, transforming their secluded enclave into a hub of activity shielded from prying eyes by a meticulously maintained cloak of secrecy. Admiral, as we delve deeper into this tangled narrative, the emergence of an alliance based on hidden agendas and shared visions for the future becomes increasingly apparent. Our investigations continue to peel back layers, but with each layer, the complexity of motives and the depth of strategy only seem to deepen.
As the mystery deepens, the arrival of many shuttles without insignias or clear affiliations marks a new phase in the covert operations surrounding the divine vanguards. These vessels, silent and ghost-like, navigate the starways undetected, their presence betrayed only by the distinctive gold-orange and pitch-black stripes adorning their hulls, a signature as enigmatic as their origins.
Sir, these shuttles, operating in the shadows of our galaxy, evade all our traditional means of surveillance and identification. No manifest detail their cargo, no flight plans hint at their destinations. The financial backbone of this operation is equally elusive, with funds that leave no trace in any ledger or database accessible to us. Even our best encryption specialists have been unable to crack the veil of secrecy that surrounds these transactions.
Amidst this influx of mysterious aid, a small but sophisticated shipping port materializes almost overnight. Its semi-prefabricated modules snap together with efficiency, suggesting a level of preparation and resources that speak of a well-oiled machine operating just out of sight.
The rapid development of this port shifted the dynamics within the region, diminishing the need for local expertise. Instead, the cult was given another gift, its ranks augmented with specific individuals who seem handpicked for their roles in this unfolding drama.
Among these new faces, an asset, a name, Pell. He stands out, a man of imposing stature and distinct appearance. He becomes the linchpin of the cult's security operations. His presence, along with another asset called Claude, a skilled engineer responsible for maintaining the technological and medical frameworks of the cult, signals a shift towards a more structured and militaristic organization.
Pell, with his commanding presence, and Claude, with his technical acumen, are not merely additions to their ranks. They are symbols of the cult's evolution from a secluded group to a formidable enclave with ambitions that reach far beyond their hidden sanctuaries.
Following the introduction of this elusive investor, bespoke biotic AMP technology surfaces as a beacon of both promise and peril. Its novel properties catch the eye not just for their potential, but for the mysteries they cloak.
Admiral, as we delve deeper into the workings of the divine vanguards, the AMP technology emerges as a focal point of our investigation. It's not just its advanced capabilities that intrigue us, but the circumstances of its integration into the cult's activities. A vigilant administrator, sensing the irregularity of the situation, has meticulously documented each anomaly and sketched the faces of those brought in by our shadowy investors. These are available should you wish to view them at a later date.
These sketches, rough yet revealing, are now invaluable assets in Briggs's investigation. They stand as the only visual testimonies of the enigmatic figures maneuvering behind the scenes, as a sophisticated malware virus entered into the cult's CCTV, shields their activities from electronic eyes.
The true nature of these investors has begun to emerge from the fog of their secrecy. Presented initially as benefactors aligned with the cult's religious mission, their actions reveal a darker agenda. Engaging in unauthorized and dangerously unethical experimentation, they exploit human subjects to probe the effects of Element Zero, an act that not only crosses moral boundaries but also legal ones within Alliance jurisdictions.
Mindwar, once a bastion of tranquility and unspoiled frontiers, now finds itself at the heart of a storm woven from the very fabric of deceit and hidden ambitions. What was once a refuge is now a playground for powers playing God, without regard for the lives entwined in their experiments.
These findings paint a grim picture of betrayal and manipulation. The serene landscapes of Mindoir, remembered by many for their unspoiled beauty, are now marred by the scars of secret manipulations and the silent screams of the unwitting. We stand on the brink of exposing a conspiracy that threads through the very core of this cult's newfound direction. Admiral Hackett, as always, it's been a pleasure updating you, albeit from less than ideal circumstances. We'll delve into the escalating experiments and the consequential crossroads faced by the cult in our next chapter.
Just as Briggs prepares to wrap up, a crackle over his comm interrupts the somber mood of his report.
Briggs, we're about to crack the lockdown. Hang tight. You'll be breathing easy in about 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Perfect timing, considering I have a grand total of 6 minutes of air left. It's always nice to have a spare minute. Might finally get around to starting that novel.
With a final glance at the camera, the corners of Briggs' eyes crinkle in amusement under the harsh light of his helmet's HUD.
Until next time, Admiral. Let's hope my next report comes with less of an oxygen countdown. Briggs out.
With that, the screen flickers briefly before fading to black. The sound of the team working feverishly in the background, the last thing to pierce the silence.
God damn it. Who the hell is calling this late? Briggs. Shit, what's up, Briggs?
Vasquez, you need to hear this. It's about what went down at Luna Base. I didn't want to drag Hammond or Hanley into this mess. Too risky.
But I guess you can drag me into it? It's 3 a.m., Briggs. Spit it out. The last time you called me this late, you had a hunch about that kid laying in 72. You were right about that son of a bitch. So, what's got you all wound up this time?
Shit, Voss. It's more than just a hunch. I almost died up there. The computing power at the base, it's not just overkill, it's astronomical. Quantum computing units that could run circles around anything the Council's got. Why would a simple VI training suite need that kind of firepower?
Maybe they're planning to play some ultra-high-def priority Hagalaz? Come on, man. You're usually not the one to jump at shadows.
For fuck's sake, Vasquez, this isn't a joke. There's something else. Those rocket drones on the surface, they're rigged to target anything non-human. And I mean anything. There's no way to override it. This setup, it's too isolated, too fortified. If the Council ever got wind of this.
Okay, I didn't mean to piss you off. But you think the Alliance is cooking up an AI hiding it on the moon? Come on, man. That's straight out of a conspiracy vid. Look, maybe the brass just likes their privacy. Since when do we share everything we do with the Council?
Privacy? Vasquez, we're talking about a system that could act on its own, way beyond any normal VI capabilities. It's like they're prepping for something big, something off the books. If this AI has awakened, if it's learning, adapting, it could explain the malfunctions, it trying to kill me and my team. And no, before you say it, I did not code the thing to vent the air and kill everyone in the fucking facility.
Briggs, you've been out there too long, my friend. Facing death, dodging drones. Sounds like you're seeing boogeymen in the code. The Alliance wouldn't risk the blowback from the Council. Not over this. Does Hackett know?
Yeah, we spoke, but what could he do? I couldn't show him any solid evidence of the AI, and as far as he was concerned, it was my mistake, my coding error. Needless to say, I'm pissed, but I can't blame Hackett, not really. Voss, I'm telling you, it adds up too well. Why else equip a base on Luna with quantum computing and autonomous defenses? It's far enough from Council space to keep it hidden, until it's not.
All right. Let's say you're onto something. What's your play? You go public, the Alliance buries it, and maybe you along with it. You stay quiet. You're complicit in whatever shadow play they're staging. Either way, you're screwed.
I know, Voss. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario. But I had to tell someone, just keep your eyes open, all right? And maybe watch my back a little more closely.
Always do, amigo. Just maybe ease off the gas a bit, huh? We'll figure it out. But hey, if you're right, maybe it's time to invest in some tinfoil hats, eh?
Shit. Laugh it up. Just remember, sometimes the crazy ones turn out to be right.
And sometimes they're just crazy. Okay, take it easy, Briggs. And hey, don't go starting any interstellar incidents without me.
Thanks, Vasquez. I needed to tell someone, just in case well, go missing. And I'm not sorry for waking you. You had it coming for that APC bullshit stunt you pulled in Rio. Okay, give the guys my best. You won't see me for a while. Briggs out.
Chapter 7. A month since his last fraught mission on Luna Base, Special Agent Jonathan Briggs finds himself ironically entangled once again with a malfunctioning VI, this time within the serenity of a simulated Citadel's Presidium. Tasked with overseeing the repair of a system designed to acclimate staff to the Citadel's iconic environment, Briggs grapples with the VI's recent quirks, random terrain glitches, the appearance of bizarre creatures, and unnerving, unpredictable simulations. Now corrected, the simulation around him finally mirrors the architectural marvel and lushness of the actual location, yet the memory of its recent capriciousness lingers. Seated on the soft, impeccably green grass, Briggs allows the restored peace of the virtual landscape to wash over him. Vivid blue butterflies flutter soothingly by, and virtual fish glide effortlessly below the crystalline water surface, each element a testament to the now functioning VI's capabilities. Despite the initial glitches, this environment serves not only as a tool for acclimatization, but also as a retreat for Briggs to collect his thoughts and plan his next moves. Opening his laptop, Briggs is determined to resume work on the Jane Shepard application biography. It's been over a month since Admiral Hackett received an update, and he is keenly awaiting a comprehensive profile that could determine Shepard's potential as the next Spectre. The pressure to deliver is immense, compounded by the surreal calm of the simulated Presidium around him. Here, amidst the meticulous recreation of peace, Briggs prepares to delve back into the complexities of Shepard's dossier, keenly aware of the contrast between the tranquility of his surroundings and the intensity of the task at hand. As the virtual light filters through synthetic trees and the sound of water melds with the occasional breeze, Briggs finds himself reflecting on the irony of his situation. Tasked with fixing a world meant to mimic one of the most peaceful locales in the galaxy, yet haunted by the ghosts of glitches that had turned serene vistas into scenes of chaos. Now, as calm as the virtual environment appears, Briggs knows the real challenges lie in the layers of information awaiting him on his laptop screen, each detail a step closer to unveiling the true essence of Jane Shepard and her suitability for the galaxy's most elite cadre.
Admiral Hackett, as I sit here, freshly returned from a harrowing assignment on Luna, I'm reminded of the stark contrasts in our universe, the serene beauty of this simulated Citadel garden, and the grim reality of what I'm about to report. The narrative of the horrors endured by those caught in the divine Vanguard's experiments has been revised slightly for better clarity and understanding. The tale is as tragic as it is complex. Exposure to element zero led to the formation of ESO nodules within the nervous systems of many fetuses. For most, these nodules turned cancerous, marking a death sentence from the very start. A select few, including Jane Shepard, were exceptions, showcasing extraordinary biotic potentials. Yet for every success, the failures were numerous and heartbreakingly fatal. The cult, under the guise of misguided theological beliefs, interpreted these failures as sabotage by loyal officers, pushing their experiments into ever more drastic and desperate measures. The surrounding area of the main colony is now dotted with unmarked graves, silent witnesses to the brutal cost of these experiments. These graves likely hold the remains of countless mothers and their unborn children, discarded by the cult's ruthless pursuit of creating what they termed beneficous profits. 3 of these experiments resulted in success, Jane Shepard being the most notable among them for her unparalleled control of dark energy, a rare gift that set her apart from her peers. Despite the success stories, the overall program was teetering on the edge of collapse by 2157 CE. Frustrated with the slow progress, the investors sent a specialist, Dr. Archer, to hasten the pace. Curiously, Dr. Archer didn't arrive via the typical shuttle routes used by the investors, but approached on foot from the outskirts, suggesting a discretion that begs questions about his true origins and intentions.
As Briggs articulates the stark realities of these events, his voice carries a weight, a somber tone that reflects not just the gravity of the past atrocities, but also his own recent brush with mortality. The serene setting around him, with its artificially generated beauty, stands in jarring contrast to the dark tales he recounts. Each word Briggs speaks adds layers to the understanding of the depth of manipulation and ambition that fueled the divine vanguards, making the tranquility of his surroundings feel almost surreal.
This raises questions about the Doctor's true identity and the possibility of already being located on the planet within the official Mindwar colony under Governor Regis. Attempts to trace his records via official channels turned up empty, although there were indications of an association with a discredited AI researcher who is on the Alliance's wanted list for unethical experimentation, though this link was not fully investigated and remained circumstantial. On a regular visit to the main colony to secretly commandeer supplies in between drops from the investor, the cult, along with their supplied M080 APC variant, parked a little too close and were spotted by a security team that reported to Governor Regis. Without knowing it, the Doctor, the security specialist Pell, and the operations manager Claude were being tailed. Regis and his aides, following the M080's dust trail, discovered the prefabricated buildings at the entrance of the cult. They were surprised to find such a well-established mini-colony so close to their own. Amidst growing concerns about the cult's clandestine facility, suspicions arose regarding their true intentions. Yet the enigmatic leaders managed to sway officials with their meticulously constructed facade of an Alliance research center. After a thorough tour of the premises, excluding the enigmatic church lab, the officials departed without any inkling of the true nature of the operation. To further cement the illusion, the cult provided the governor with a list of company registration codes and a contact within the Alliance for any future inquiries. Taking this information to heart, the governor attempted to reach out through the provided channels, believing he was establishing contact with the system's Alliance. Unbeknownst to him, the elusive investors, posing as Alliance officials, intercepted the communication. They promptly fabricated a response, assuring the governor that an Alliance team would be dispatched for an on-planet meeting within the next 3 to 6 weeks, a promise they had no intention of fulfilling. In reality, all external communications were severed, with the investors allowing only select data bursts deemed inconspicuous to pass through their filters and reach the extranet.
As Special Agent Jonathan Briggs unfolds the chilling account of deception and manipulation orchestrated by the cult, Briggs finds himself wrestling with a mix of emotions. Frustration at the clever masquerade maintained by the cult, and a growing unease about the layers of secrecy that even now seem impenetrable. The story so far reveals a complex web of deceit, where the mysterious Dr. Archer plays a central role, suspected to be already embedded within the official Mindwar colony. His unclear affiliation with a discredited AI researcher adds a layer of intrigue and danger, pointing to unethical experiments that skirt the fringes of legality and morality. The Doctor's shadowy presence on the planet raises alarm about the real intentions behind the cult's facade as a research center. Briggs, ever the astute observer, senses the manipulation at play when the cult's leaders manage to convince Governor Regis and his aides of their benign intentions. This encounter, marked by the governor's unwitting complicity, highlights the effectiveness of the cult's deception. The facade is so meticulously crafted that even seasoned officials are lulled into a false sense of security, leaving the cult free to pursue its sinister objectives under the guise of legitimacy. The fabricated communications with the Systems Alliance, designed to further deceive Governor Regis, signify a calculated move by the shadowy investors to maintain their influence and continue their covert operations undisturbed. This manipulation not only isolates the cult from potential scrutiny, but also deepens the isolation of the colony, effectively cutting off any hope of timely intervention. In recounting these events, Briggs's voice carries a somber tone, reflective of his concern for the victims ensnared by the cult's machinations and his own growing wariness of the powers orchestrating these events from the shadows. As he sits in the artificial calm of the Citadel simulation, the contrast between his serene surroundings and the dark tale he recounts becomes a poignant backdrop to his contemplation of the intricate dance of shadows playing out across the stars. Briggs continues.
The project remained shrouded in secrecy, its true nature hidden from prying eyes. With the chances of external interference now minimized, Dr. Archer meticulously documented the reception of precise directives and a well-defined mission in his journal. Official records substantiate his prompt assignment to examine a compact subterranean cave network directly beneath the cult's stronghold. He was subsequently tasked with establishing a cutting-edge laboratory, furnished with prefabricated resources, tailored meticulously to accommodate all the necessary state-of-the-art equipment. This juncture marked a pivotal shift for Dr. Archer, a transition from religious pursuits to resolute scientific endeavors in his discerning eyes. As a final directive, he was mandated to affix a fresh seal onto the entrance, bearing a new maxim: the utilization of any means to further humanity's ascension to biotic divinity is wholly warranted. The overarching plan was to secure and utilize the mysterious relic believed to house a power source akin to dark energy, possibly of Prothean origin. He couldn't shake the feeling that the cult's founding in this specific location was no mere coincidence. Yet, he was certain that the cult leaders only became aware of the cave's existence after he had disclosed the new plan. Dr. Archer's intent was to harness this newfound power source to jumpstart experimental biotic implants, even if it meant risking the lives of the cult members. Unfortunately, sir, information regarding this artifact was incomplete, but the doctor's report included a basic outline of the proposed electroconvulsive therapy, ECT procedure data. Dr. Archer lacked comprehensive data on the artifact's internal workings, energy source, the radiated energy, or the safety parameters involved. He had to estimate the appropriate level of energy to deliver to the candidates, ensuring that they survived the procedure and produced useful data. The doctor, understanding that electrons didn't travel through wires like a flow of water through a pipe, but rather the wires facilitated a directional energy field, assumed the energy of the new artifact used the same laws of physics, meaning precise alignment of the artifact and the surgery chairs were crucial. A plan was formulated to secure the artifact deep within a geological chamber and feed wires up to the laboratory, connecting directly to the surgery chair via electroconvulsive therapy ECT plates. The candidates would be immersed within the energy field, and the doctor would administer regular bursts of energy through the ECT plates to ensure sufficient exposure. The benchmark for this experiment was the measurement of biotic output before and after exposure to the new artifact and its energy field.
As Briggs delves deeper into the murky waters of Dr. Archer's clandestine activities beneath the surface of Mindwar, The unsettling transition of the Doctor from religious leader to cold, calculating scientist becomes starkly apparent. The once quasi-spiritual facade of the cult is stripped away to reveal a chilling, methodical pursuit of scientific breakthroughs, regardless of the moral and ethical costs. Dr. Archer, with an air of detachment noted in his journals, channels his efforts into a groundbreaking but morally ambiguous project deep within a subterranean cave network. His actions underscore a disturbing shift, the pursuit of knowledge overshadowing any semblance of humanitarian concern. The installation of a cutting-edge laboratory equipped with the latest technology marks a new phase of the cult's evolution, a phase characterized by a heightened focus on exploiting an ancient power source thought to be of Prothean origin. The drive to harness this dark energy, with its potential to revolutionize biotic abilities, illustrates a perilous dance with unknown forces. Archer's commitment to utilizing any means to elevate humanity's biotic capabilities, as evidenced by the new maxim emblazoned across the lab's entrance, speaks volumes about the radical departure from any previous moral constraints. As Briggs recounts these developments, there's a perceptible shift in his tone, a blend of awe and horror at the lengths to which the cult and Dr. Archer are willing to go. The utilitarian philosophy adopted by Archer, prioritizing the advancement of biotic capabilities over the well-being of individual lives, mirrors the darker aspects of scientific pursuit unchecked by ethical considerations. The setting up of an intricate network of wires connecting the mysterious artifact to the experimental surgery chairs adds a layer of suspense. The meticulous planning involved in aligning the artifact with the chairs to optimize the energy field during procedures reveals a disconcerting level of precision in experimentation. This cold scientific rigor in the pursuit of biotic enhancement, tempered by the overarching plan to exploit a Prothean relic, paints a grim tableau. As Briggs narrates, the disconnect between the cult's lofty goals and the harsh realities of their methods becomes a poignant reminder of the potential for scientific endeavor to stray into ethically gray territories.
Admiral, Dr. Archer's hypothesis suggested that the device emitted a dark energy field capable of dramatically amplifying implanted biotic amps and biological feedback in the candidates. As a side note, the doctor also detected a strange pulse emanating, similar to that of an infrasound. This seemed to affect cognition for a short time whilst exposed. The effect was very slight, so declared not a threat to the experiment, and was benched as a concern. While the cult viewed success or failure through a religious lens, aiming to resurrect their beneficous profits, the investors now and always approach the project with purely scientific and detached objectives. Unbeknownst to the cult, all research data was routinely copied and transmitted to the investors through their QEC, including detailed medical reports on every cult member, regardless of their biotic candidacy. As it became evident to the investors that Jane Shepard was the only candidate making the correct and intended progress with enhanced biotic output, a decision was made to conduct all the high-risk experimental surgeries and biotic training on the other two candidates, whose progress was drastically below par since the beginning of their exposure to the artifact. Their personalities had also changed, becoming more and more unresponsive and bipolar in nature. This strategy allowed only the proven techniques and implants to be used on Jane Shepard, who was chosen as the sole beneficous prophet. The others would be the sword and the shield, beneficous prophets. The cult's theory was that both the sword and the shield must be forged in fire, in pain, whilst the sole prophet had to be fashioned with care, experience, and be the embodiment of purity. These intricate plots illuminate a landscape of carefully calculated ambitions and sinister intentions. As time ticked away, the artifact served as a catalyst for a new chapter. My team, scrutinizing these pieces of evidence with suspicion, draw further connections between the shadowy investors and Cerberus, a clandestine organization notorious for its ambitions and covert operations.
In the secluded depths of an underground laboratory, Dr. Archer's situation grows increasingly precarious. Amidst the shadowy confines of this improvised scientific bastion, he orchestrates a high-stakes experiment fraught with unknowns. The absence of comprehensive data on the mysterious artifact's internal mechanisms, its energy source, or the radiation it emits, forces Archer to operate largely in the dark. His decisions are guided by educated guesses rather than certainties, amplifying the risk to all involved. As the experiments continue, the psychological toll on the subjects becomes evident. Their mental states begin to unravel, manifesting in unresponsiveness and volatile mood swings, symptoms of the profound strain they are under. Yet, for the investors and Dr. Archer, these are mere data points to be analyzed and addressed within the clinical sterility of their scientific endeavor. As Briggs pieces together these fragmented reports, the link between these covert operations and the notorious group Cerberus becomes increasingly plausible. Known for their unorthodox methods and shadowy agendas, Cerberus's involvement would explain much of the audacity and secrecy surrounding these experiments. The artifact, a beacon of untold power, now anchors a narrative fraught with covert manipulations and high-stakes science. Briggs comes to the end of the report.
It is conceivable that a well-funded and operationally autonomous cell within Cerberus may be orchestrating this malevolent manipulation. Should these affiliations prove valid, they stretch into the realms of conspiracy, forging ties between the splinter colony and a malevolent force with sinister intentions. A significant artifact emerges from this investigation, a compromised window displaying the emblem of the cult. Even in its state of disrepair, this insignia echoes the cult's underlying purpose. This seal, akin to a symbolic gateway to their hidden knowledge, was crafted to dissolve upon contact, serving as a self-destruct mechanism, safeguarding their innermost truths. Admiral Hackett, as we delve deeper into the shadows cast by the divine vanguards and their enigmatic backers, the web of intrigue they've woven becomes increasingly tangled. Our next steps will require a closer examination of the artifact that seems to lie at the heart of their operations, a relic whose power and origins could have monumental implications. In our forthcoming report, I plan to focus specifically on this artifact and its profound influence on the cult's dynamics, which are showing signs of strain. Tensions are rising, and there are murmurs of discontent that could very well lead to an internal revolt. This emblem, a symbol of their covert intentions, was designed to disappear, much like the transparency they've avoided from the start. Its discovery, albeit in fragments, is a crucial piece of the puzzle. Expect a detailed analysis in my next communication. The insights we gain may well dictate our strategic responses moving forward. Until then, I'll ensure our findings are secured and remain confidential. Briggs, signing off.
Chapter 8. In the tranquil yet eerie expanse of what was once Woking Forest, on the outskirts of London, stands Dr. Antonio Kenson, a military technical specialist of notable repute. The date, 12/9/2177 CE. As the night sky stretches vast and starry above him, Kenson, absorbed in his work, is a figure of intense concentration and poised expertise. His role today extends far beyond the typical confines of a laboratory. He is here to investigate an enigmatic energy pulse, its origin pinpointed within the remnants of this forest. Dr. Kenson, carrying the formidable legacy of his renowned mother, Dr. Amanda Kenson, a name Admiral Hackett respects and remembers from past collaborations, exudes an aura of sharp intellect and commanding presence. Dressed in a smartly tailored uniform that bridges the gap between professional laboratory wear and tactical field gear, he looks every part, the modern scientist soldier. The uniform not only serves a functional purpose, but also complements his authoritative yet approachable demeanor. His connection to Admiral Hackett is not just professional, but also personal. Their last encounter was under the somber circumstances of Antonio's father's funeral. Here, in the shadowed calm of the forest, Dr. Kenson is more than just a scientist. He is a detective of the cosmos, deciphering clues that weave through the very fabric of space and time. His steady resolve and the calm assurance with which he handles the equipment illustrate his indispensable role within the Alliance's scientific community. As he delves deeper into the mysteries of the pulse, the serene setting belies the groundbreaking discoveries that may soon unfold, poised to reshape humanity's understanding of the universe. Dr. Antonio Kenson's mission in the remnants of Woking Forest is driven by a groundbreaking discovery: anomalies in energy pulses that suggest a new, possibly game-changing phenomenon in the field of energy research. These pulses, detected during routine surveillance, exhibit unique characteristics that have not been recorded elsewhere, characterized by their abrupt manifestation and the peculiar regularity of their occurrence. Tasked by the Systems Alliance, Dr. Kenson's investigation focuses on the analysis of these pulses, which appear to be localized to this specific area. His objective is to determine the nature of the energy emissions, understand their source, and predict their implications. The pulses are not only frequent, but are intensifying, hinting at an impending zenith that Dr. Kenson has calculated to occur around November 2185. This urgency adds a critical dimension to his work, as understanding these pulses could lead to breakthroughs in how humanity harnesses and utilizes energy, potentially introducing new technologies or revealing natural phenomena that could alter scientific understanding. Equipped with state-of-the-art monitoring equipment, Dr. Kenson measures the integral of the optical power over time, a method that helps him estimate the total energy output and its potential applications. The environment of Woking Forest, now a sparse landscape dotted with the remnants of its lush past, provides a quiet backdrop for his intensive work. Each measurement he takes adds a piece to the puzzle, with the data collected potentially leading to insights into quantum mechanics or energy manipulation that could revolutionize fields as diverse as telecommunications, defense, and interstellar travel. As the chilly night air whispers through the barren landscape, Dr. Kenson remains steadfast, piecing together the clues presented by each pulse. His work here, far from the sterile confines of a traditional lab, is a testament to the evolving role of scientists as explorers on the frontiers of the unknown, pushing the boundaries of what humanity understands about the fundamental forces of nature. Transitioning from the intense focus on his fieldwork, Dr. Antonio Kenson takes a moment to pivot towards another significant responsibility: his upcoming contribution to the Shepard dossier. Under the dim light of his portable workstation, he meticulously reviews the notes provided by Special Agent Jonathan Briggs. These documents, rich with detailed observations and critical insights into the ongoing investigations, are crucial for Dr. Kenson to align his scientific findings with the broader narrative of Jane Shepard's background and the mysterious energies she's entangled with. With each page, Dr. Kenson synthesizes the information, connecting dots between his research on energy pulses and the biotic enhancements discussed in the dossier. This preparation is vital, as his insights not only add a layer of scientific validation to the dossier, but also help in understanding the broader implications of biotic energies in human evolution, a subject at the heart of Shepard's unique capabilities. Satisfied that he's well prepared, Dr. Kenson closes the folder with a decisive thud and shifts his attention to setting up his recording equipment. He carefully positions his digital recorder on the makeshift desk, framed against the backdrop of the starlit sky and the sparse silhouettes of Woking Forest. Ensuring the microphone settings are optimized for clarity, he takes a deep, steadying breath.
Admiral Hackett, Antonio Kenson here. Hope all is well, and thank you for your kind words the last time we met. It meant a lot. My surroundings may be slightly unorthodox for an official briefing, but such is the nature of the job you gave me, sir. With orders from Special Agent Briggs, I've been digging into the details and have put together a comprehensive report on the Dews monolith experiments, based on first-hand accounts from Dr. Archer and other key sources. This monolith, pinpointed through the coordinates from our investors, isn't your usual setup. Archer got right to the point by wiring the electrodes directly into the candidate's subcutaneous amps, cutting through the standard procedures to see what this thing can really do. Dr. Archer's methodological shift was aimed explicitly at fusing the central nervous system with biotic output, marking a pivotal moment in the understanding of biotic enhancements during encounters. The results were nothing short of remarkable. Within just 2 to 3 sessions under the new artifact's energy field, significant shifts were recorded in the candidate's implant energy spikes and durations. This innovative energy traversed through both the ascending and descending neural tracks, establishing a seamless connection from the spinal cord to the brain and back. The implants in the ascending pathways allowed for a more profound transmission of sensory and motor information, potentially transforming these candidates into unparalleled forces on the battlefield. This wasn't just a scientific experiment. It was the beginning of a new frontier in biotic potential in humans. The ascending tracks implants were a marvel, transferring sensory data like touch and temperature directly to the brain. This was key for syncing biotic discharges with instinctive actions, a hand's swift movement, a body's dodge. Archer's ultimate aim? To let candidates automatically conjure biotic barriers at danger's first whisper. But it was the seamless meld of implants and biology, reminiscent of the most sophisticated nanotechnology, that really caught my eye. However, it was Archer's hypothesis about the artifact that gave me pause. It wasn't just a power source, but a catalyst for profound biological changes. Jane Shepard stood out here. Her endocrine systems and biotic implants were in perfect sync under this influence, a testament to the artifact's dark energy and its mysterious waves affecting the brain and limbic system. This isn't just science. It's the brink of something much greater.
Kenson's expertise allowed him to appreciate the technical brilliance, yet also recognize the inherent risks. The convergence of biotic and technological domains, under the influence of an enigmatic artifact, was a leap into the unknown, one that held as much promise as peril.
The advancements the cult and Archer achieved with Jane Shepard were nothing short of revolutionary. Her ability to generate a biotic shield at the moment either her conscious or subconscious mind detects danger has profound implications, not just for her own safety, but for the entire team. The team were pushing these boundaries further, transforming her into both a shield and a sword. The offensive potential they were unlocking, sending out energy fields that can tear through enemy defenses, was and still is groundbreaking.
Kenson's technical acumen shone as he delved into the specifics of the artifact's influence. The image of the artifact, a towering structure reminiscent of daggers poised in silent threat, lingered in his mind. Its design facilitated not just the absorption of energy, but also its precise deployment in the field. In Kenson's thoughtful gaze, there was an unspoken question about the balance between power and control, between unleashing potential and containing its consequences. The artifact, a symbol of untapped power, held as many promises as it did mysteries.
Archer's journey with the artifact is a stark reminder of the fine line between discovery and obsession. His notes, once clear and methodical, spiraled into a chaotic mix of barely eligible ramblings. It's a warning to us all about the seductive power of such profound mysteries. Admiral Hackett, as I conclude this segment of the Shepard dossier, I want to extend my gratitude for your unwavering support over the years, especially during the challenging times my family faced. Your presence at my father's funeral and your continued guidance have meant more to us than words can express. I'm honored to contribute to this important work and to be part of unveiling the complexities surrounding Jane Shepard's journey. Thank you for the opportunity to serve alongside such distinguished colleagues in these pivotal investigations. Dr. Antonio Kenson, signing off.
As the cool night air settled around Woking Forest, Dr. Antonio Kenson completed his recording with a sense of solemnity and pride. The weight of his contribution to the Shepard dossier wasn't lost on him. His insights were now part of a larger narrative that could shape the future of the galaxy. The forest, now quiet except for the occasional rustle of virtual wildlife, seemed to hold its breath, a fitting backdrop to the gravity of the moment. Kenson methodically packed his equipment, his movements precise and unhurried. The soft glow of his laptop screen faded as he closed it, and the echoes of his work faded into the simulated night. Climbing into his truck, he felt the familiar comfort of the driver's seat. As he started the engine, the headlights cut through the darkness, casting long shadows behind him. With a deep breath, he pulled away, his truck kicking up a cloud of dust as he departed, leaving the tranquility of the bare, forgotten forest behind, carrying with him the significance of his task and the knowledge that his work was part of a greater destiny. Chapter 9. The date, November 2177, CE. In the sleek confines of his quarters aboard the John Grissom Academy, Special Agent Jonathan Briggs finds a moment of calm amid the vast expanse of space. The view from his large window offers a breathtaking panorama of Elysium below, a serene backdrop that contrasts sharply with his usual high-stakes environment. The room, a blend of modern design and personal touches, is equipped with advanced holographic devices and personal memorabilia reflecting Briggs' dual dedication to duty and personal life. 2 scented candles, smuggled into his suitcase by his partner Sarah, add a calming scent to the space. Sarah insists he needs this soothing aroma, given his recent brushes with death. Briggs is here on a crucial assignment, tasked with reviewing the latest data on the new L4 biotic implants, a vital part of the Alliance's ongoing efforts to enhance human capabilities in the ever-evolving galactic landscape. His respect and admiration for Kaylee Sanders, the brilliant and striking director of the Academy, add an interesting layer to his mission. Seated on his bed, Briggs prepares to record his next entry in the Shepard dossier. His surroundings provide a rare moment of solitude, a chance to reflect and focus on the task at hand. The upcoming report will detail the internal rebellion within the cult that ultimately led to its downfall, a critical piece of the puzzle in understanding Jane Shepard's extraordinary journey.
Greetings, Admiral. I hope all is well. It's been a while since my last update, but I heard Tony Kenson did a great job on his technical entry for the Shepard dossier. I have passed on the gratitude. Good kid. As per your request, sir, I've been busy with the Ascension project here at the John Grissom Academy. Kaylee Sanders is nothing short of remarkable. Her brilliance is matched only by her dedication. I can't seem to work out Hendel, though, a bit too stiff upper-lipped for my liking, but nevertheless, a great consultant. Admiral, today I'm recording the section on the internal rebellion within the divine vanguards. This rebellion was the catalyst for the cult's eventual downfall. The factional disputes, betrayals, and desperate power grabs turned the once cohesive group into a chaotic battleground.
A soft chime interrupts Briggs. He glances at his laptop as a video call request from the Grissom reception pops up. A polite attendant with a professional smile appears on the screen.
Good evening, Mr. Briggs. This is Simjasi at reception. Would you like a wake-up call? And if so, what time?
Yes, please. 7 a.m. local time would be great. Thank you.
Noted. Have a good night, sir.
Thanks, you too.
The call ends, and Briggs turns back to his recording, his expression apologetic.
Sorry about that, Admiral. Where was I? Right. The rebellion within the cult. The investors who have been closely monitoring the operations of Mindwar from the point of their direct intervention started receiving peculiar updates through the QEC from Dr. Archer and the designated security personnel, PEL. Reports became erratic, deviating from their intended topics, and their frequency significantly decreased. The doctor reported constant requests by the cult members for time around the monolith. Some cultists became absolutely obsessed with it, even arguing over who had the right to be near it. Furthermore, the cultists started to believe that Jane Shepard was a direct link to the monolith due to her significant increase in biotic abilities. As a result, she was openly worshipped by the cult members.
Briggs shifts slightly, adjusting his position on the bed. The glow from his holographic laptop bathes his face in a soft light as he continues.
This, however, led to resentment from the sword and shield prophets, who were seen as lesser prophets. Eventually, Jane Shepard was elevated within the cult's ranks to the status of a sole beneficus prophet, resulting in various rituals being conducted in her honor due to her extraordinary abilities. This shift in focus towards the Deus monolith, coupled with the deteriorating condition of the prophets, had sowed seeds of discord within the cult. Furthermore, the diminishing frequency and incoherence of Dr. Archer's reports had raised suspicions among the investors. While Dr. Archer was initially viewed as a valuable asset, his latter communications had caused concern about his mental state and the stability of his leadership within the project. The other two individuals, identified as Sword and Shield, or the Betas for the sake of this report, were becoming unwilling participants in the project due to the sheer amount of suffering they endured. The Betas experienced severe side effects and complications arising from the experiments conducted on them. During an intoxicated outburst from the Betas, where they broke into the chamber housing the Deus monolith, they attempted to graffiti the room and damage the monolith. As if suspecting its demise, a pulse of energy emanated from it, turning the Betas against each other in a blur of biotic power. When their energy waned and they settled down, both exhausted and unsure of why they just fought, they stumbled upon paperwork from the doctor's secret filing cabinet, now laying in pieces. The Betas learned that they were subjected to experimental surgeries, exposures, and procedures deemed too dangerous and extremely experimental to use on Jane Shepard. This revelation fomented internal discord and animosity among the trio. The Betas showed a growing inclination to target Jane Shepard, either seeking her downfall or intending to inflict suffering upon her, likely mirroring the pain from the complications they themselves have endured, prolonged medical complications, including severe migraines and cancerous tumors, plaguing them due to the experimentation.
Briggs pauses, reflecting on the gravity of the situation he is describing. The room around him, filled with the scent of Sarah's candles, seems worlds away from the chaos and obsession that plagued the cult on Mindoir. He knows that every word he records could have far-reaching implications, not just for Jane Shepard, but for the entire Alliance. The contrast between his peaceful surroundings and the turmoil he describes underscores the weight of his responsibility. As he continues, the calm determination in his voice is unmistakable.
During another scheduled procedure, the Betas rebelled, and an intense conflict erupted between Jane Shepard and the Betas. Concerned for the well-being of fellow cult members and her parents, Jane Shepard embarked on an escape plan from the cult's location. Regrettably, her attempt met fierce resistance from the Betas, leading to a violent confrontation resulting in casualties, including the tragic loss of a young boy who turned out to be Governor Regis's son.
Briggs's tone conveys the gravity of the situation. His respect for the chain of command and his duty to report the truth is evident. Yet there's an underlying frustration, an unspoken anger at the senseless suffering inflicted on the cult members. The details are harrowing, a tale of misguided faith twisted into a nightmare of pain and betrayal.
Dr. Archer, the cult leaders, the laboratory's chief scientist, and his associates barricaded themselves within the facility that housed the Deus monolith, further complicating the situation. Governor Regis, hearing over comms that his son was found perished, raged for the loss. He vowed to put an end to the cult. Believing the monolith was the heart of the biotics powers, the governor and his forces gathered explosives and successfully breached the laboratory, heading to the location of the cave entrance that housed the monolith. Details regarding what happened next are almost non-existent, bar Jane Shepard's first-hand account. What is clear is that certain people are still classified as missing due to lack of a body or remains found on the colony during the recovery. Governor Regis, Pell, Claude, and Dr. Archer's remains were never found.
Briggs pauses, taking a deep breath. He knows that every word he speaks is being recorded, scrutinized, and will be used to piece together the larger puzzle. His dedication to uncovering the truth is palpable, his voice steady, despite the grim content.
The investors initially received regular project updates via QEC. However, these reports became increasingly erratic, bordering on the religious. They fixated on the necessity of safeguarding the monolith, neglecting the primary objective of developing biotic soldiers. The investors suspected a form of indoctrination or collective hysteria as the cause. Regardless, they recognized the project's imminent failure and sensed a loss of control. Orders were issued for a comprehensive transfer of all pertinent project data, and for designated agents to initiate an immediate bug-out operation, bypassing the investors' next phase to sanitize the colony.
The words hung in the air, heavy with the sense of impending doom. The investors had tried to salvage what they could, but the situation was spiraling out of control.
This incident cast a foreboding shadow over the tightly guarded project, prompting the grim realization that an impending catastrophe could expose the investors' covert involvement, resulting in the loss of billions of credits and valuable research crucial to their cause.
Briggs's expression tightened.
Beneath the complex web of cryptic exchanges between the cult and the investors, a concealed scheme unfolded, meticulously orchestrated to wipe clean the record of internal turmoil in the colony. Covert manipulation efforts formed a cloak of obscurity, shielding the conflict from the prying eyes of the Systems Alliance, deflecting unwanted scrutiny. Against this tumultuous backdrop, the investors responded cryptically, transmitting coordinates for the expeditious retreat. This final act in the covert tapestry signaled an exit strategy for Pell, Claude, Jane Shepard, willingly or otherwise, and Dr. Archer. An act of disappearance was in progress.
The room seemed to darken with each revelation. The investors had orchestrated an elaborate escape, leaving chaos in their wake.
A veil of secrecy surrounds the events that followed. A search and rescue team, retrieving a body matching Dr. Archer's reported features. Disputes arise, suggesting this body might be a volunteer from the cult, aiding Dr. Archer's escape, while the Alliance presumed his demise. Another disconcerting absence persists. The elusive security operative Pell remains unaccounted for, along with Claude Monod.
Confusion and uncertainty clouded the aftermath, with missing persons and possible false identities complicating the truth.
Admiral, the final act of the cleansing of Mindoir required the intervention of an unrelenting force. Intel suggests that the investors, acting as puppeteers in the shadows, disseminated disinformation targeting the war-hungry enemy of humans, the Batarians. This calculated move aimed to ensure a forceful Batarian response, effectively facilitating their clandestine blank slate initiative.
Briggs' tone grew darker. The investors had manipulated events to provoke a devastating response, turning Mindoir into a battlefield.
The arrival of Batarian slavers was akin to an unrelenting tempest, driven by the false belief that the Systems Alliance was using Mindoir as a front, hiding its true nature as a heavily armed military outpost, imminently poised to strike their homeworld of Karshan. The invaders, displaying strategic prowess, initiated a calculated assault involving heavy artillery strikes. Mindoir's once thriving settlement lay in ruins, particularly the heart of the cult's facility, which suffered extensive damage.
The devastation was absolute. The colony, once vibrant and full of life, now lay in ruins, a testament to the ferocity of the Batarian assault.
The colonists faced unspeakable horrors at the hands of the Batarian slavers. Lives were abruptly extinguished, while survivors endured a grim fate, subjected to a nightmarish cranial implant that served as a tool of ruthless control. This twisted narrative, purportedly orchestrated by the investors, spurred the Batarian forces into action with unforgiving ferocity.
The human cost was staggering. Innocent lives were lost and survivors were subjected to horrific control measures, their fates sealed by the investors' machinations.
During the bombardment, a distress beacon was sent from Mindoir. It's unclear who sent the distress call, but it's believed it was done by Dr. Archer as his last action just prior to his escape off planet and back into the investors' sanctuary. On receiving the distress call, the Systems Alliance swiftly mobilized, embodying a beacon of hope amidst the encroaching darkness. Despite their unwavering determination, the Alliance forces encountered formidable resistance from the well-prepared Batarian defenses, forged in the crucible of animosity. Devoted servicemen bound by duty found themselves entrenched in the heart of the maelstrom. Their anguished vigil bore witness to the suffering of colonists, a helpless testimony to the brutality unfolding before them.
Alliance forces, driven by duty and honor, faced overwhelming resistance. Their bravery, though steadfast, was a stark contrast to the horrors they witnessed.
The slavers executed a systematic purge of the colony, leaving infrastructure in ruins and the spirit of a planet battered into submission. The Mindoir operation unveils a chilling narrative of orchestrated chaos, masterminded by the investors to fulfill their enigmatic blank slate initiative.
Mindoir's destruction was complete. The investors' plans had come to fruition, leaving a once thriving colony in ruins and its people shattered.
The tragic toll exacted on Mindoir serves as a stark reminder of the human cost entangled within the web of clandestine agendas. The bravery of Alliance personnel in the face of overwhelming odds stands as a testament to their unwavering commitment to duty and the preservation of life. Admiral, it's hard not to admire Jane Shepard's resilience and survival amidst such chaos. Her story is one of unyielding determination and strength. I am eager to delve deeper into the exact details of her survival in the upcoming reports, as her journey is nothing short of extraordinary.
As Briggs closes the report, he sits in silence, contemplating the next steps. The path ahead was fraught with challenges, but the courage of those who stood against the chaos would light the way forward.
Sir, as always, it's been a pleasure. Until next time, Jonathan Briggs, signing off.
With those final words, Briggs closed the report, his sense of duty and respect for those who fought shining through the gravity of his findings. Questions still linger. How did Jane Shepard survive the raid? Why wasn't she with Pell and the others? Lots of questions still to answer. And with it, some painful answers forthcoming. Chapter 10. In a dimly lit room, illuminated by the faint glow of holographic displays and scattered data terminals, Dr. Sarah Hammond sits at a cluttered desk. The hum of electronic equipment fills the air, underscored by the soft whirring of cooling fans. Papers and data pads are strewn across the workspace, an unusual mess that stands out, given Dr. Hammond's typically meticulous nature. The clutter is a testament to the urgency and gravity of her task. Dr. Hammond adjusts the holoscreen in front of her, where the image of a young woman with fiery red hair and a determined expression flickers into view. This is Jane Shepard, her face set with resolve as she prepares to speak in a recorded therapy session. The screen static occasionally distorts her features, but her voice remains steady, a beacon of clarity amidst the digital haze. Dr. Hammond takes a deep breath, straightens her posture, and begins recording her message for Admiral Hackett.
Admiral Hackett,
She starts, her voice steady and professional.
It's Dr. Hammond. I trust you are well and still fighting the good fight. I'm sending you this recorded message to provide further insights into the events surrounding the Batarian raid on Mindwar.
She pauses briefly, gathering her thoughts.
In the last segment, of course, Special Agent Briggs covered the details leading up to the raid. However, Jane Shepard's account may shed additional light on the situation. Shortly after Shepard was rescued from Mindwar by the Alliance Search and Rescue, I conducted a psychological evaluation with her. In this recording, I'll be playing specific segments from that session.
Dr. Hammond glances at the hollow screen, ensuring everything is set up correctly.
Jane's first-hand account offers crucial insights into the events that unfolded. The following clips are excerpts from our session where she describes her experiences and the impact of the raid. The only thing missing are my questions to Jane to save time. This, sir, is a fully unadulterated version of events that Jane experienced leading up to and including her final conscious moments on Mindwar. It's her own words. It's honest, chilling, and in parts, gut-wrenching.
With a final check of the recording setup, Dr. Hammond presses a button to begin playback. Jane Shepard's voice fills the room, recounting the harrowing details of her experience on Mindwar. The tension is palpable even in the recording, as Dr. Hammond ensures that every crucial detail of Shepard's story is conveyed accurately for the Admiral to review.
Are we recording, Doctor? Okay. Well, this is the first time I've spoken about this since it happened. You'll have to forgive me if the memories are a little broken. It hurts to think about it.
I understand, Jane. Please, take your time. If you need to stop, just say the word and we'll take a break.
Okay? Thanks. Well, where to start? Mindwar. A name that gives me chills. It's where all of this unfolded. My parents were leaders of this cult, a splinter from the main colony. They were obsessed with creating these superbiotics, these so-called prophets. The others were called betas by my parents, 2 of them, not counting me. The betas were used for experiments, subjects for every dangerous procedure they could think of, every mistake, every ounce of pain. They endured it all. One day, they found out, discovered what my parents had done to them, and they turned on me. It was a day I'll never forget. The chaos, the destruction they wrought with their biotics and fury. I couldn't really blame them, not entirely. I tried to keep clear of the innocent bystanders, but it was a monumental struggle. I managed to break away and hide in the abandoned community center. When the betas went crazy, all the children were taken out of the schools and centers, so I thought it was a safe place to hide. I was still scared of the betas. They were so angry, so powerful. Then there was this boy, the governor's son. About 8 years old, I think. He had a fascination with superheroes, believed I was one. When he saw me use my biotics, he believed I was a hero, just like one of those comic book tales he loved. He used to follow me everywhere. He once told me his name was Junior. He was a great kid. I think he looked up to me in some strange way. He shouldn't have. I'm no one special. The Sword Beta, filled with rage, found me and cornered me in the community center. I tried to reason with Sword, but the kid must have heard my voice because it was at this moment he appeared. He came rushing in, drawn by the clamor, the thrill. Poor kid. He had no idea what he was walking into. Then it happened. He broke a bottle, catching Sword's attention. The beta turned on him without a second thought. A pulse of energy came from Sword's outstretched hand, sending the boy hurtling through the kitchen wall and smashing me to the ground. It hurt bad. I was dazed. When that bastard sent the poor boy through the drywall, it must have ruptured. A fuel line or something. There was a small explosion and a terrible fire. It all happened so fast. I sprinted toward the breach in the wall, desperate to save the kid. But I was too late. I wasn't fast enough. Junior had stopped screaming. He was gone. Just as the kid smashed through the wall, one of Regis's men, one I've never seen before, entered the room totally unprepared for what he was seeing. He saw me and Sword. The boy's brief screams, now silent, lifeless. Our eyes met. A shared moment of sheer horror came over his face when he realized that Sword was on a rampage. He fumbled for his weapon. His face dropped when he realized he only had his radio and not his gun. He didn't know where to place the blame. The boy, he knew it was Regis's son, still burning. Sword and I surrounded in a biotic haze. It felt like hours, the three of us just staring back and forth at each other, waiting for someone to make a move. I knew that if I tried anything, I would likely die. I was beaten, weak. Luckily, Regis's man made a move. He ran out of the room radioing to the governor that something terrible had happened to Junior and that the biotics were out of control. Strange though, he had me. He could have finished me. To this day, I felt he thought I was not a worthy enough opponent, that I was already beaten. I assumed he wanted to hurt me in another way, a worse way, to end my parents' lives and all those close to me. I couldn't save the boy. I stood up, ran to where the kid was lying, desperately trying to put out the fire. I failed. I failed him. I started crying. It was at the moment I let go and started crying that I remember feeling the weak pity and sorrow turn to pure rage, a burning, a surge within me, different from anything I had felt before. It was unlike anything I'd ever known. Biotic energy surged through my veins. I gathered myself and cleared my mind. I made a vow, right then and there. They would pay. All of them. With this, not sure what to call it, it was like a new well of energy. A bottomless pit of rage and anger. I raced toward our lab, leaving the fire raging and that poor boy's body behind. The surge of determination and anger coursing through my being carried me forward. The betas, driven by their own anger and pain, left a trail of devastation, which led the way toward the Enclave. The very air seemed to thrum with tension, each step echoing like a heartbeat of my impending doom. As I neared the cave entrance, where the sound seemed to be coming from, I had to step over glass, rubble, bodies, friends, children. It was hell. Finally, I reached the antechamber leading to the entrance. Both Sword and Shield were trying to breach the door, easily dispatching Regis's men, who were also trying to get into the cave, to the scientists, to my parents. Then the craziest thing happened. The sound, well, not really a sound, but the sensation from the cave suddenly intensified. Regis's men, who were initially fighting with the betas to get into the cave, some of them turned on each other. They were muttering some shit about protecting the monolith. The darkness must not be revealed, or something similar, was all they were saying. My memories, they get a little blurry from then, like a drunken dream. But like watching a movie, I saw biotics clashing, a symphony of power that resonated through the desecrated halls. I could feel the energy building within me, a tempest ready to be unleashed. With every fiber of my being, I summoned a torrent of biotic. Something, a wave, a blast. Just as much energy as I could gather, bathing the room in an incandescent glow. The betas responded in kind, their own energies converging in a cataclysmic clash. We charged headlong into the maelstrom, a quartet of forces locked in a deadly dance. The very foundations of the Enclave quaked beneath us, echoing the intensity of our battle. Strangely, the floor rocked. Explosions from outside could be heard. Bombs were landing. It felt like the whole world was ending. Then, the world seemed to totally fragment, shattered like glass. My memories turned to snapshots. The next coherent image is of waking amidst a ruin, my parents pinned by rubble, the cave groaning and threatening to collapse. I remember trying to summon a protective barrier, a last-ditch effort to shield my mom and dad from the impending disaster. They were holding each other and had enough room to hold out a hand to reach mine. My last vivid memory is seeing the terror and imminent death in my parents' faces. After that, everything fades. It's as though my mind erected a barrier, a shield of its own to protect me against the memories that followed. What happened in those final moments is a void, a chasm in my recollection, maybe for the better. That's the last time I saw them, alive. The next conscious breath I drew was in the sterile confines of an Alliance hospital. The scent of antiseptic, the distant hum of machinery. It was a contrast to the chaos that had defined my existence for so long. The weight of what had transpired settled in my bones, a burden I carry to this day, along with my nightmares. Talking about nightmares, I've never forgotten Junior. His face. I dream of him often. He is always out of reach, burning. It's horrible. I guess it's my fault it happened, so I live with it. Always. I will never be that weak again. Never. Thanks, Doctor. But I think I've had enough for today. Can we stop?
End of recording.
Admiral, this is where the recording ends. It took a lot out of Jane to share her story, and we are immensely grateful for her effort. Next, I will play the report I recorded immediately after our meeting, just after Jane left my office. What Jane didn't know is that I already had some details from the ASAR teams about how she and her parents were found after the Alliance drove the Batarians off-world. This information sheds more light on how Jane survived. It's hard to imagine what she endured, sir. I recorded a summary and then put together a personal report in my own words. It's best if I just play it. The recording will start shortly.
File name: Fractured Shield. Playback commencing.
Subject: Mindawar Survivor Report, application number 11042154. Admiral Hackett, I submit a report outlining crucial details regarding Jane Shepard's survival on Mindawar, specifically what effect this could have on her emotional state. In the aftermath of the devastating events on Mindawar, amidst the extensive cleanup and recovery efforts conducted by the Alliance, a remarkable tale emerged. 16-year-old Jane Shepard, thought to be the lone survivor of the cult and colony, not including any unaccounted-for colonists taken by the Batarians on their eventual retreat. A specialized ASAR team, proficient in recovery operations, delved into the wreckage that scans had shown a large quantity of bodies, suspecting a mass burial site. Their determination led to the astonishing discovery of a solitary, emaciated 16-year-old girl, encased within a weak biotic dark energy field. Tragically, just beyond the protective boundaries of her biotic field lay the mortal remains of 2 deceased humans, one male and one female, later revealed to be Jane Shepard's parents, the leaders of the cult and its facility. What follows is a personal narrative of what Jane Shepard went through during the days between the raid and her rescue. The details are from my own assessment and an abridged version following a psychological assessment, the majority of which will be featured in this application. Title of report: Fractured Shield. The air on Mindawar was thick with ash and despair. The once vibrant settlement now lay in ruins, a haunting echo of the life it once held. Amongst the wreckage, a small family fought for their survival. Jane's heart raced as she summoned the last reserves of her biotic strength. The collapsed building pressed against the shimmering dome of energy that surrounded them, a fragile barrier between life and crushing oblivion. She held her mother's trembling hand, their eyes locked in silent desperation. Time blurred into a ceaseless haze. Each passing second was an eternity, every heartbeat an echo of impending doom. Shepard's once steady breaths grew labored, her muscles quivering with the strain of maintaining the protective shield. The world beyond the dome was a cacophony of distant cries and the relentless grind of metal against stone. As the hours stretched into days, Shepard's strength waned. The protective perimeter of the shield shrank, leaving only a shrinking pocket of safety. She could do nothing but watch in mute horror as sections of her parents' bodies were slowly crushed, their pain etched into their faces. It was a cruel, unforgiving dance with destiny. In those agonizing moments, Shepard felt the weight of her own limitations press upon her soul. She was supposed to be a prophet, someone special, a protector, but here, in this cruel twist of fate, she was powerless. Thank you for your time, Admiral. I hope these details provide insight into Jane as a person, her strength, her determination. We need her, sir. She is a bloody hero. I wish her all the best. Until the next chapter. Dr. Sarah Hammond, signing off.
Dr. Hammond ends the recording and takes a deep breath. She mutters to herself,
Damn, Johnny, that was tough. You owe me one. Wherever you are now, Shepard, I'm rooting for you. We all are.
Chapter 11. In the dimly lit briefing room, the faint hum of electronic equipment filled the air. Admiral Hackett leaned forward, eyes narrowing as he was about to open the most recent file from his team. The significance of the document was not lost on him. This was about Jane Shepard, a name that had already become legend within certain circles of the Alliance. The Admiral opens the file from Special Agent Jonathan Briggs. It was marked top secret and encrypted.
Welcome to Alliance Military Database. Classified information requested. Establishing secure connection. Secure connection confirmed. Please log in to access your file.
Admiral Stephen Hackett. Code BA2134 Alpha.
Login successful. Welcome, Admiral. Would you like me to play the file?
Yes, please.
Admiral, it's Briggs. I had to send this on an encrypted channel. The details regarding Shepard's implants and our plans moving forward need absolute discretion. The following details are regarding Jane Shepard's enhanced biotic capabilities exhibited leading up to the aftermath of the Mindwar tragedy. These are a matter of the highest secrecy and significance. The exceptional nature of her talents, coupled with her unparalleled feat of withstanding the collapse of a building and utilizing biotics to endure beneath the rubble for approximately 5 days. Sir, Jane Shepard's biotic powers are unparalleled, especially considering her lack of formal training. Her ability to generate a biotic field, manipulate objects with biotic force, and employ singularity techniques places her on a level of proficiency rarely seen outside of the Asari, a species naturally inclined toward biotic abilities. The top secret classification of this case underscores the significance of her exceptional aptitudes and experiences. It also reflects the official desire to tightly control the dissemination of this information, recognizing its potential impact on security and the balance of power.
Hackett's gaze remained fixed on the screen as he listened. The report delved deeper into Shepard's unique biotic adaptations.
Further analysis reveals that Jane Shepard's biotic capabilities are a product of her extraordinary nervous system adaptation. This adaptation enables her to instinctively manifest a protective shield, triggered by either conscious or subconscious threats. This was evident in the loss of her parents when the building collapsed on them. The conscious part of the brain created the dome of biotic protection to shield her parents, while the subconscious part of her mind put up a body-wide barrier shield to stop her from being hurt. Leveraging this shielding ability, She demonstrates remarkable proficiency in accessing primary and secondary biotic powers for offensive and defensive maneuvers. Noteworthy is the integration of advanced AMP technology, intricately melding with her biology following exposure to the Deus monolith and its transformative energies. This integration of this enigmatic energy serves as an augmentation catalyst, further amplifying the potency and precision of her biotic abilities.
Hackett noted the integration of advanced AMP technology mentioned in the report. It was something he needed to understand fully.
Jane Shepard's biotic capabilities represent an extraordinary and unique facet of her character. The secrecy surrounding her case underscores the recognition of the exceptional nature of her abilities and the necessity of guarding the knowledge of her accomplishments and potential applications. Astounding revelations divulge that Jane Shepard's biotic implants exhibit an extraordinary integration within her nervous system. The origin and composition of these implants remain shrouded in mystery, thwarting all attempts at reverse engineering due to their profound entwinement within her physiology.
Hackett's eyes narrowed further as he absorbed the details.
These implants harmonize seamlessly with her neurons, weaving an intricate network that enables seamless communication from her cerebrum through her spinal cord and nerves. The result is a symphony of nodes functioning in perfect concert. When scrutinized through an X-ray, these nodes present a strikingly floral morphology, possessing an intricacy that borders on the alien in its architectural complexity. The nature of the architecture of the amplifiers has more in common with a natural growth rather than surgically implanted.
Briggs's report continued, highlighting the significant investment in Shepard's implants and their profound impact.
The cost of these implants must have been a significant investment, indicating a substantial investor with almost unlimited funds. Jane Shepard is currently the sole living human possessing this unique implantation, enabling peak biotic potential. L-class implants, strategically inserted after her entry into the Alliance, mitigate tempestuous spikes in her biotic energy, granting her greater control over her abilities and proficiency in combat skills using various firearms.
The report shifted focus to the psychological impact of Shepard's experiences.
In the aftermath of the traumatic events on Mindwar and subsequent counseling, Jane Shepard has internalized these experiences, enabling her to function as a highly capable soldier. However, this compartmentalization has rendered her incapable of embracing meaningful, intimate relationships. Instead, it fuels her duty-based concern for her fellow humans, making her a vigilant guardian for her teammates and exemplifying her unwavering resolve to protect. A marked animosity, particularly towards pirates, slavers, and Batarians, is evident in Shepard's disposition, driving her pursuit of excellence in biotic abilities and marksmanship. Her deep-rooted disdain for Batarians aligns with Alliance objectives for galactic expansion. Nevertheless, tensions exist between Shepard and the Alliance hierarchy, stemming from her discontent over Alliance performance and intelligence gathering, resulting in a disheartening grudge.
Hackett leaned back, contemplating the depth of the report. Dr. Hammond's voice resumed for the final segment.
Admiral, in conclusion, I assert that Lieutenant Commander Jane Shepard possesses both the mettle and mindset to excel in service, making her a highly suitable candidate for the Interplanetary Combatives Academy and a likely N7 candidate. My nuanced understanding of Shepard's inner workings and resolve paints a revealing portrait of a remarkable individual. Based on the significance of the Deus monolith and its potential implications to enhance biotic amp tech, I propose the formation of a new task force solely focused on finding this artifact and others like it. I propose we call it Task Force Aurora. I've already compiled a short list of individuals who would be perfect for this task. Dr. Garrett Bryson should head up the task force. His team should consist of Derek Hadley, Dr. Alex Garneau, and Dr. Ann Bryson, Garrett Bryson's daughter. One last thing, sir. I still don't have solid evidence to prove this theory yet, but I am sure that the enigmatic investors are linked to or a cell of Cerberus. I intercepted a communication. I can't say much more yet, but the thumbnail was a three-headed dog, or three dogs with suits on. The image was slightly corrupted. The data was mostly unusable, but it mentioned a plan to secure assets from the Mindwar project. And sir, Shepard's name was on the list. Until next time, Admiral. Briggs signing off.
End of recording. File closing. Thank you, Admiral.
Task Force Aurora. Sounds like a plan. Cerberus. God damn it. Why does it always have to be Cerberus?
Chapter 12. In the quiet, controlled environment of the Systems Alliance office, Dr. Sarah Hammond prepares to record her final entry for the Jane Shepard dossier. It's a momentous occasion, one filled with both professional pride and personal reflection. As the camera focuses on her, the room's dim lighting casts a soft glow. This is not just another report. It's a testament to the resilience and strength of a soldier who has risen above her adversities to become a beacon of hope for many.
Admiral Hackett, this is Dr. Sarah Hammond, and I'm recording my final entry for the Jane Shepard dossier, documenting her psychological and physical assessments as well as her extraordinary journey. Jane's story is one of immense challenge and remarkable triumph, and it's an honor to share this comprehensive evaluation with you. The report will commence momentarily. Psychological Assessment Report. Subject Application. Number 11, 042154, PSY 640.
Reason for referral.
Jane Shepard's application for the Interplanetary Combatives Academy, ICA. The following evaluation provides critical insights into the psychological and physical state of Jane Shepard, alongside an assessment of her unique abilities and her newly designated military classification.
Psychological evaluation.
Jane Shepard has undergone extensive psychological assessments and therapeutic interventions in the aftermath of the Mindwar incidents. This process, spanning 3 years, reveals a gradual adaptation to the loss of familial and social connections. Notably, her military training has been instrumental in redirecting her energies and emotions towards constructive challenges.
The 3 years of psychological assessments have not just been about evaluating Jane's mental state, but about helping her navigate the profound losses she experienced. Her military training has been a double-edged sword, both a refuge and a relentless reminder of her past.
Implant surveillance.
Continuous monitoring of Jane Shepard's implanted devices is in effect. The specific methodologies employed for these implantations remain classified NTK. Measures were taken during the implantation procedures to minimize internal scarring effects. However, the exact nature and extent of the implantation conducted by Dr. Archer, a presumed operative of Cerberus, remain ambiguously defined.
Physical injuries.
Visible scars on Jane Shepard's brow and lip regions indicate facial trauma. These marks suggest potential combat engagements, potentially involving one-on-one confrontations with fellow biotic candidates due to their unique scarring signatures.
Military designation.
Jane Shepard's seamless integration of biotic capabilities and firearm proficiency has led to the establishment of the inaugural military classification known as Vanguard. This title was exclusively bestowed upon Jane Shepard as of 3/21/73 CE. Vanguards are defined as formidable combatants proficient in harmoniously blending biotic talents with conventional weaponry. Their tactical focus centers on swiftly incapacitating adversaries through the skillful application of biotic abilities and projectile armaments. Positioned at the forefront of combat scenarios, Vanguards adeptly shield themselves while showcasing exceptional offensive capabilities.
The title of Vanguard is not just a designation. It's a recognition of Jane's unique fusion of biotic and combat skills. This role places her at the forefront of battle, a position that requires not just strength, but also a strategic mind.
Prospects for the future.
The N7 designation is a highly probable trajectory within the next few months.
Conclusion.
This evaluation offers a comprehensive overview of Jane Shepard's post-Mindwar life and her evolving role within the Alliance military. It highlights her unique fusion of biotic and combat proficiencies, positioning her as a valuable asset in the pursuit of strategic objectives.
Prepared by
Dr. Sarah Jean Hammond, LCPC, Alliance Certified Neuropsychologist. Note, this report is classified NTK and intended for authorized personnel only. Unauthorized access or dissemination is strictly prohibited.
End of report. File closing.
As Dr. Sarah Hammond finishes her recording, she pauses, reflecting on the incredible journey Jane Shepard has undertaken. This dossier is not just a file. It's a testament to the resilience of a hero who has overcome insurmountable odds. The room feels charged with a sense of closure and hope as Sarah prepares to send off the final piece of the puzzle to Admiral Hackett.
Admiral, it has been an honor to document Jane Shepard's journey. Her resilience, her strength, and her unwavering commitment to her duties make her a true hero in the eyes of so many. This is not just the end of a report, but a new beginning for someone who has so much to offer. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this process.
Sarah closes the laptop with a soft click, her expression a mix of pride and solemnity. She knows that Jane's story is far from over, and that her contributions will shape the future of the Alliance in profound ways. As she stands, the camera captures the quiet determination in her eyes, a reflection of the soldier whose story she has just told. Chapter 13, Code for the Special Forces Operator.
Certification of Volunteer Service Date 19/12/21/72 CE.
I, Jane Shepard, hereby affirm that I have willingly volunteered for duty with the Systems Alliance Special Forces. I am fully cognizant of the demanding nature of Special Forces operations, which may necessitate immediate deployment deep within enemy territory. My responsibilities will include organizing, training, and collaborating with guerrilla forces, as well as undertaking various missions as directed by the Alliance. I understand that, as a member of the team, it is imperative that I maintain peak mental and physical fitness at all times and carry out my assigned tasks with full dedication. I pledge to conduct myself in a manner that upholds the honor of my team, my service, and the Alliance as a whole. I am fully aware that the success of our missions may hinge on our ability to achieve our objectives despite overwhelming odds. I acknowledge that I will be required to undergo training that is more rigorous and demanding than what is typically expected of a standard member of the Systems Alliance Navy. I accept that specialized language and skills training, including attendance at Villa Militar in Rio de Janeiro, will be essential for my personal and professional development. I commit to wholeheartedly engaging in these assignments and extracting the maximum benefit from them. I comprehend that any failure to make satisfactory progress in training, the display of poor judgment, immature behavior, or engaging in misconduct that may tarnish my reputation, or that of the Special Forces, End School will result in my immediate reassignment and a permanent bar from future duty with the Special Forces. It is my unequivocal intention to remain a part of the Special Forces End School program for a minimum of 6 years. I have voluntarily endorsed the provisions laid out in this document and understand that it will be incorporated into my permanent records. Signed, Jane Shepard. Witnessed by David E. Anderson, Operational Leader.
Chapter 14, The Verdict.
From Donald Udina at extranet.gov to Jonathan Briggs at sawcc.gov. Subject, Application, number 1104-2154. Application for N7 designation verdict.
Agent Briggs, in my capacity as counselor, it is with great deliberation that I have decided to deny Jane Shepard's designation for N7 at this time. While Jane Shepard undeniably possesses exceptional combat, biotic skills, and a commendable record of service, there are certain considerations that have led me to this conclusion. Specifically, I have reservations about Shepard's propensity for independent decision-making, uncontrolled biotic flare-ups, and her history of engaging in high-risk missions. Furthermore, there exists a need for strict adherence to established protocols within ICA, and I have concerns that Shepard's approach may not align with these requirements. It is essential to recognize that this decision has been reached after careful evaluation of the Alliance's specific criteria for our potential N candidates and the skills deemed necessary for success in such a rigorous program. I have taken it upon myself to email Jane Shepard personally with the outcome that we are going to make official.
From Donald Udina at extranet.gov to Jane Shepard at extranet.gov. CC Admiral Stephen Hackett at mil.extranet. Subject: Thank you for your application to Interplanetary Combatives Academy's N7 designation.
Dear Jane Shepard, we regret to inform you that your application to the Interplanetary Combatives Academy's N7 designation has been denied. After careful consideration, the decision has been made not to advance your candidacy at this time. Please be aware that this decision is final and not subject to further appeal. We thank you for your continued service to the Systems Alliance Navy and encourage you to explore other opportunities for career advancement within our organization. Sincerely, Donald Udina, Counselor and Alliance Diplomatic Corps Representative, Systems Alliance.
From Admiral Stephen Hackett at mil.extranet to Jonathan Briggs at sawcc.gov. Subject: Application number 11042154. Application Verdict Addendum.
Special Agent Briggs, after reviewing Counselor Udina's report and carefully considering Jane Shepard's record, I must respectfully disagree with the initial decision to deny her application for the N7 designation. While I understand the concerns raised about her independent nature and history of high-risk missions, it is precisely these qualities that set Commander Shepard apart as a leader. Her ability to make difficult decisions under extreme pressure and to inspire those around her are invaluable assets to the Alliance. Moreover, Shepard's loyalty and dedication to our cause have been demonstrated time and again through her unwavering commitment to defending human colonies and standing against formidable adversaries. I believe that these qualities, rather than being viewed as liabilities, are what make Jane Shepard the ideal candidate for ICA with a view to reach N7. Her unique combination of combat skills, strategic thinking, and unwavering determination make her an asset that the Alliance cannot afford to overlook. Therefore, I am overriding the previous decision and authorizing Jane Shepard's entry into the ICA effective immediately. She has proven herself as a remarkable leader, and I have no doubt that she will continue to excel in this new endeavor. Sincerely, Stephen Hackett, Fleet Admiral, Systems Alliance, Arcturus Station.
From Admiral Stephen Hackett at mil.extranet to Jane Shepard at extranet.gov. CC Donald Udina at extranet.gov. Subject: Thank you for your application to Interplanetary Combatives Academy's N7 designation.
Dear Jane Shepard, we are pleased to inform you that your application to the Interplanetary Combatives Academy's N7 designation has been overturned and authorized. Please disregard the previous communication regarding your application. After reviewing your record of exceptional service and outstanding performance, we believe that you are the best candidate for this prestigious program. Your demonstrated leadership, unwavering dedication, and unparalleled combat skills make you an invaluable asset to the Systems Alliance. We are confident that you will excel in the Interplanetary Combatives Academy program and continue to be a shining example of the Alliance's finest. Congratulations on this well-deserved opportunity. We look forward to witnessing your continued success and contributions to the Alliance. Sincerely, Stephen Hackett, Fleet Admiral, Systems Alliance, Arcturus Station.
From Admiral Stephen Hackett at mil.extranet to Judge Advocate General Anna Kahoku at mil.extranet. CC Jonathan Briggs at sawcc.gov. Subject: Internal investigation recommended.
Dear Judge Advocate General Anna Kahoku, In reviewing Counselor Udina's surprising decision to deny Jane Shepard's application for the N7 designation, I am left with concerns over potential political motives underlying this choice. To ensure the integrity of the Alliance's processes, I recommend a discreet internal investigation into Counselor Udina's activities surrounding this matter. It is imperative that we maintain transparency and uphold the highest standards of fairness and accountability within our organization. Sincerely, Stephen Hackett, Fleet Admiral, Systems Alliance, Arcturus Station.
And so, we come to the end of this pre-Mass Effect chapter in Jane Shepard's story, from the mind of the author. From the harrowing events on Mindwar to the secretive experiments of the divine Vanguards, we have journeyed through the formative experiences that shaped a future legend. We've uncovered the depths of her extraordinary biotic abilities, witnessed the trials that tested her resolve, and understood the indomitable spirit that would lead her to become one of humanity's greatest heroes. This audiobook has offered a glimpse into the possible untold origins of Commander Jane Shepard, a figure whose legacy is pivotal to the survival of the galaxy. But as with any great story, there is so much more yet to be told. The events chronicled here by the author barely scratch the surface of her early years, and the forces that molded her into the leader we know and admire. The echoes of the past are far from silent. They call out for a deeper exploration, a more comprehensive understanding of the trials and triumphs that defined Shepard's rise. The intricate web of alliances, the shadowy conspiracies, and the personal sacrifices demand further examination. There is a rich tapestry of narratives still waiting to be woven. A prequel would not only illuminate the paths that Shepard walked before stepping onto the Normandy, but also enrich the overarching lore of the Mass Effect universe. It would provide fans with a more nuanced portrayal of the hero they revere, and the context for the pivotal choices that shaped the fate of the galaxy. Jane Shepard's story is far from over. The early battles, the unseen struggles, and the untold victories are stories that deserve to be told. For the fans who have followed her journey, for the new explorers of this expansive universe, and for the legacy of a character who embodies resilience, bravery, and hope, a prequel would be a worthy addition to the saga. Throughout this audiobook, we've utilized AI-generated voices inspired by some of the iconic voice actors of the Mass Effect franchise. As this is a fan fiction and non-commercial work, the original actors did not miss out on voiceover work. Trust us, if we could have afforded them, we would have certainly reached out. The author's hope is that this project inspires streaming services to consider creating a prequel TV show, using the real voice actors and lore provided. This would fulfill the author's decade-old dream as of 2024. Thank you for joining us on this journey. As the fledgling author's first foray into fan fiction, it may not be perfect, but it is a work of love for the Mass Effect franchise. We appreciate your support and hope you've enjoyed the story. Remember, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. This concludes Soul of the Vanguard, a Mass Effect Saga fan fiction. Until next time, keep striving for a better future. This is the narrator, signing off.
In the shadows of stars under cosmic skies, she walks a path where destiny lies. A soldier by chance, a hero by fate. Against the dark voice, she stands at bay. In the fire silence of space, you make your stand. Through the nebulous mist, her doubts whisper loud, yet she marches on through the unknown unbowed. Each battle she wins, each life that she saves, draws her deeper into the void's relentless waves. They call her savior, if always here, but in the heart it's the shadow she fears. Yet she fights till the stars fade away, a damn hero in the light of day. With fire in your eyes, fighting through the pain, the whispered goodbyes, unlocked to heart, but born to stand. In the silence of space, you make your stand. So here she stands, where destiny calls, in the dance of the stars before the darkness falls. Shepherd with all her will, a beacon in the night, undying and still.